Broadneck, good morning. Glen Burnie, good morning. Welcome to my office. My name is Shane, and I am happy to welcome you to District of Ramsey County. And I would like to invite you to have a fabulous day today. In the well here in the courtroom is a team that we've assembled. This team that I'm a part of plans on presenting to you some very cool things today. So before we get started, I want to make sure we do a few things. I want to have fun. Field trip for y'all, field trip for all of us. This is not our everyday job in here in the well today. So let's have fun. I think you're going to laugh a little. I hope you cry a little. I hope you learn a little. I hope you share a little. All right? We're going to share. The team I have up here behind me and next to me, they're going to share a little bit with you about their lives, their everyday experiences, what they do in this courthouse, what they do in their jobs, everyday jobs. They're lawyers, they're nurses, they're paramedics, police officers, administrators, clerks, bailiffs, the gambit of who runs this courthouse. And we're all here. We're here to help you. At the end of the day, when we leave in about 2 hours, I'm going to ask you to do me one thing, and it's make good choices. Just make good choices. You're going to make a bad one. I promise you, all make a bad choice at some juncture. It's all right. Who cares? I'm good. Own it and make it right. That's all I want you to do. But I hope when you leave us today, leave our office, for them, it's kind of their playground today. I hope you leave us with a little bit of information, maybe something in your head that makes you think. This is a team effort. This is the judiciary and Board of Education working together hand in hand to put this program for you together. This is now our third time this year. My good friend Ms. Case told me we have 11 or 12 high schools from the county here. I applaud you. I appreciate you. I thank you, Glen Burnie, for coming to see us because this is important to us. Our team wants to be part of every student's life. All of you. I hope that something we do today makes that happen. Before I go any further, because this is a team effort, judiciary and the Board of Education, I want to ask Dr. Ralston to welcome you on behalf of the Board of Education because he, Dr. Arlotto, Dr. McMahon, make this happen, make this possible. Dr. Ralston, welcome students, sir. Please and thank you.
Good morning. My name is Anthony Owen. I'm a regional assistant superintendent for the North County and the Chesapeake School System. Dr. Arlotto could not be here today, but I'm coming to speak on his behalf and to welcome him. If he were here today, he would want me to remind you that the choices that you make today have the ability to impact you for the rest of your life. If he were here today, he would want me to remind you that it's okay if you don't always make the best choices, but what's important is that you learn from the mistakes that you make. Because we're all going to make mistakes, but what's important is that we take the opportunity to reflect upon our mistakes, realize what we've done wrong, and ensure that we never try to make that mistake again. And if he were here, he would want me to remind you, he would remind you, to stop and listen and think about which is easier. You picture one choice from being on the other side, opposed to watching or being on. And the last thing he wants me to make sure that you know is that you are going to make sure that you get information about the schools in court, Better Choices, Better Tomorrow content. Make better choices. Be better tomorrow. Participate. You enjoy the day. I hope you learn. I hope you reflect. I hope you leave better than you came. Enjoy the day.
If Dr. Arlotto were here today, I would ask him to see his socks. He always has cool socks. I put on my cool Argyles, but Dr. Ralston, you're with me, man. I see you, right? I make cool choices. See, I like it. These things matter to me. Small things matter to me. If Dr. Arlotto were here, he'd be asking you, your students, what classes you were here from. I think Broadneck, you have a criminal justice class here, same with Glen Burnie. He would also tell you, so would my boss, who's not here yet, he'll be here, so let's have fun before the boss gets here. He would tell you that this is a class 2. This class is, no respect to your teachers, this class is way better, all right? I'm a cool dude. I got cool people behind me. I like to have fun. This class is AP Life. This is what you do every day in life. You just don't see it out there. You're going to see it here in real life, right? I want you to make good choices all day, every day. And that program that Dr. Alston mentioned, that Ms. Cave gave your teachers, is awesome. Because if you do this program, you compete, gotta compete, you have the chance to come back here and follow around the lawyers who are in the building, the prosecutors who are in the building, the public defenders, the officers, the state's attorney. She says you can go follow her. She's the boss of the whole office. She said you can go with her, but you got to compete, right? And compete to me doesn't mean write a poem, write an essay anymore. To me, make me a cool YouTube video or something. I don't know, a song. 2-3 times ago, we had a dude come in and bring a rap, and it was legit. Remember that rap? That thing was legit. Dude dropped the rap in here on this mic right here. I had the CD in my office somewhere because it was that cool. So I invite you to compete. Now, Glen Burnie, where y'all at? How y'all doing? What class is it? Remind me. Criminal justice? Are y'all learning about like what? Search and seizure yet? Any of that stuff? No? Not yet? You gonna get there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna teach you tonight. Bro, what are y'all learning about? Come on now. Come on, you're making me look bad. Crime? What about crime? Reasons why we don't commit crimes? Because we don't want to go to jail. That's the first idea. And it's wrong, right? Reason why others commit crime, I get that, all right? Y'all on search issues yet? No? Like why I should search your car or anything yet? No? No? Yeah? We're gonna get there? Man, I like your tie, bro. I like that tie. That's a good choice right there you made. You know you're coming to see me. Anybody driving yet? Oh, yeah, we got some drivers. You got drivers, Bobby? You got drivers? All right. What kind of car you drive?
The Equinox.
A who?
An Equinox.
The Chevy product? I like him already. What's your name?
James.
James, I like you, James. Chevy guy. Good homegrown Chevy guy. Who else drives? What do you drive?
Nissan.
What kind of Nissan?
Armada.
What year is it? Good. I got a Chevy like James. Mine's 03. It's a hoopty. It's a beater. I love it. It's rusted on the sides. It's green, has a whole bunch of scratches. I love my truck. Anybody want to drive my truck? It's gassed up. Nobody? What? Tell me your name.
Jordan.
Jordan, you want to drive my truck?
Yeah.
You gonna wreck? Do you have a license?
Ish.
Did you say ish?
Yes, he said ish.
You do or you don't have a license?
I do not. Almost have it.
You want to drive anyway?
Sure. Say no. You're an adult. You're in the car.
James, you want to drive my truck?
I have my permit, so you're with me.
Oh my Lord. Who has a full license? You have a full license?
Yes.
Like the full on,
Yes, I've had it for over a year now.
you want to drive my truck?
Sure.
All right, come on. What's your name?
Dinah.
Dinah, I'm Shane. Come on. Get in my truck. This is my truck.
Deal.
This is my truck.
I will drive your truck.
Let my truck. All right, you drive that truck. Every truck needs a few things. In mine, I have a rack of stuff. I have clothes, I have food, I have water. I have to have a steering wheel. It's a steering wheel.
I don't have a pedal.
Use your imagination. It's right there.
Is it stick shift?
No, it's straight automatic.
Okay, great.
Anybody want to go for a ride with, is it Dina?
Dinah.
Dinah. Looking for a ride, Dinah? James, come on. I know you do. Come on. You know her? You do not. Come on, man. Come on. It's always good to have a good new friend. Y'all know them? You go for a ride with them?
Sure.
Come on, what's your name?
Michelle.
Michelle, come on. That's my friend Dinah and James.
Hi.
Anybody else looking for a ride with Dinah, James, and Michelle? Come on.
I don't know how to get
Yeah. Sorry? You don't want to? You do? Come on, girl. What's your name? Chardonnay. Chardonnay, come on for a ride. My friend Dinah and James, Michelle and Chardonnay looking for a ride. Where y'all gonna go, Dinah? You're driving.
It's not up to me.
All right,
I'm
well-
one for the people.
Where y'all want to go? It's 9 o'clock. Starbucks down the street. Dunkin' Donuts around the corner.
Work up at,
All right, go ahead. You know what? Everybody needs
Hopkins?
music
Okay.
in their. My truck, although it's a beater, it's all rusted out and green and nasty. I got music in my truck. Y'all like music? What kind?
Heavy stuff.
Heavy. Oh God, what about you?
classic rock.
Classic rock. How about you? Rap.
yeah.
How about just some? I gotta turn the radio on. Come on, Bobby. Let's get some music in this joint. We're gonna turn it up. We're gonna ride. Why y'all looking at me? Drive, Dinah. Now, we're. All right. Where are you gonna turn?
Left.
Okay, go ahead. What you trying to do?
Everybody stay.
Anybody want to be law enforcement when they grow up? Like, want to be a cop? Like, a straight up, like law enforcement, like I want to put somebody in jail kind of guy? You do, girl? Come on. Tell me your name. Caitlin. Caitlin. Caitlin's going to be my law enforcement officer. I'm going to deputize her with Officer Tucker and Officer Sullivan. Caitlin, you need to have a car.
Okay.
They get cool cars. You gotta drive that car and you gotta pull them over.
Okay.
Dinah, where are you driving, girl? Pull them over, girl. Put it down. There we go. Yeah, now we're down. Look. Yes. Head bob. Come on. Head bobbing. Yes. Yes. Dinah, why are you looking at me? Where y'all
I
going?
try to stay out of it a little bit, you know.
James, where y'all going? Philly? They're going to Philly. Up the 95 corridor. The heck? You look like you're swerving. She's swerving a lot. Pull behind, pull behind. Back it up. Urge. Urge. Now pull behind that joker. Yeah, yeah. Block him in, block him in, block him in. Right there. Woo, all right. Also, that car is swerving.
I think the police car's swerving. I don't know. She drives like one of our officers.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. I see lights and sirens. Uh-oh. There's trouble in paradise.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Officer Sullivan with the Annapolis Police Department. I stopped you for having a taillight out. Did you know you had a taillight out?
No, I didn't.
No? Whose vehicle is this?
It's my car.
It's your car? You have license and registration?
Anybody got a phone?
You don't have your license on you.
Annapolis
No.
City, this is Shane Spencer. My 03 Avalanche is missing. Yeah, I was at Raul Boulevard and someone stole that
Ma'am,
joker.
Ma'am, I'm talking to you.
Thank you.
Up here.
Oh,
you don't have your
Lord.
license on you? No? No, and you don't have the registration? And it's your vehicle? All right, where are you guys headed to?
Philly.
Philly? Yeah. What's in Philly?
Eagles game.
It's February, so. What's that?
I'm just listening to my co-pilot here.
Yeah. What's your name, sir? My name is Jameson. Jameson? What's in Philly? Yeah. Good. Eagle Stadium. You know, it's a Thursday. It's a Thursday morning in February.
Whew.
They don't play. So how are you going to a game? Want to keep your hands up, ma'am? All right. Thank you. Thank you. So whose truck is this? It's your truck. Okay.
I'm gonna pause the story right now. Officer Sullivan just pulled his vehicle over. Dinah's told him it's her truck.
Hold on.
You heard I called it in. So at this point, you have the registration. What are you gonna do now?
Ma'am, the vehicle's coming back to a number one male. I'm not sure. It's a black male.
Same Shane.
Yeah. Well, you said it was your truck. It's not your truck.
Not anymore. No.
You don't have a license. Yeah. All right. Do me a favor. Turn the car off for me, please. All right. Just keep your hands up on the steering wheel. All right. Everybody, keep your hands up for me, okay? All right. Hang tight. All right.
At this juncture, what are you gonna do, Officer Sullivan?
Maybe, we can get him out of the car. We'll do a canine scan.
And why would you do that?
The female in the back keeps reaching down in between the seat right here. They're going to Philadelphia for an Eagles game on a Thursday morning. Passenger looks nervous. She's nervous.
Miss Lowry, at this juncture, also wants to call in a K-9. The car registered to somebody else, not Dina. Someone else. The car's reported stolen. He wants K-9. You okay with that?
I'm okay with that, Your Honor.
No problems.
No problems, yeah.
Miss, ladies and gentlemen, this is my friend Ty Lowry. She's one of the prosecutors here in the building with us. Miss Holly, are you okay with this so far? We're like 2 minutes in. Now, let me go down the road here. Miss Lowry, this vehicle is going up 95, that 95 corridor towards Philly on a Thursday morning for an Eagles game.
And it's not her car.
Suspicious to you?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that search now if we get a K-9 here? You call it in?
I've called in.
Oh, Lord.
Do me a favor, ma'am. Step out of the car for me, please. All right, turn around, put your hands on the hood. You have anything on you? No? No drugs, weapons, nothing?
No.
No? All right. Favor. Come over and sit with this officer right here. Everybody keep their hands up, all right?
It's all right, Caitlin. Caitlin did it. Caitlin did it. Caitlin pulled him over. It's part of the job, sister. The good, bad, the ugly. Come on, so you get arrested. Sullivan, just the driver, or now what?
Hey, passenger, do me a favor. Step out of the vehicle. All right, turn around, put your hands up on the car, all right?
Uh-oh, Dinah. Uh-oh, Dinah.
Hey, talk.
Good. Ma'am, step out of the vehicle. All right. Put your phone down. No, you don't need your phone. Leave it there. All right, turn around. Put your hands up on the car. Any drugs on you? Anything? Any weapons? Nothing? You mind if I check? You do?
I mean, no.
Yes, sir. Are you nervous?
Yes.
I just put your hands behind your back, okay?
Uh-oh.
Good. Just check back.
Michelle went out. Now what? You probably go home, probably. You probably go home, don't you think?
Is that your bag you keep reaching for, ma'am?
Oh, my God.
No? No? It's not yours? No. Okay. And how do you know everybody else in the car?
Me and her, we all go to school together.
Y'all go to school together? Yeah. And where are you guys going?
Sit down.
Philly? All right. Do me a favor. Step out of the car, okay? Turn around. Put your hands up on the...
Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I have a question. We have a stop for a bad tail light. Dina's driving the car. She says it belongs to her, but it belongs to somebody else, me. I called it in stolen. Officer Sullivan's pulled all 4 of them out, put them all in cuffs. Anybody have a problem with that? Who has that? Who says that? Raise your hand. Be loud and proud. Tell me your name first. Why do you have a problem with that? Didn't read them the rights, Miss Holly. Miss Holly, do they have rights right now?
Yeah, they have rights.
What rights should we read them the Miranda rights?
They should. I would argue they should be.
Oh, Miss Lowry.
I have to argue at this point, they don't need their Miranda rights. They're simply being detained for officer safety.
They're not under arrest yet.
They're under arrest.
And they're not free to go.
They're not under arrest. They're just sitting there. They're just sitting there. Also, did you call in for a canine?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
You can search the car?
Oh, the canine's going to do a scan.
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like,
Stay in your seats, please.
just make it like enough. And I was like, all right, 2 pounds of marijuana in the back.
Good boy. Oh, boy. Yeah. Search. Ladies and gentlemen, watch my canine partners, Sergeant Sucker and his partner, Ada.
Leave him.
Oh,
Come on.
I wish she had on her.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Oh.
That's a good man.
My friend, tell me your name.
Caitlin,
Caitlin, do you see what Ada just did? What does he do?
we use the dog Adam.
Yes.
That's a good job.
Atka, actually, I said it. I mispronounced Atka.
That's fine.
He searched the car.
That's a good job.
What happened? Sorry? How do you know he found the bag? He bit it. Did he do anything else? Who said that? What's your name? Michael. Sergeant Tucker, my man Michael said Atka sat. Is that true?
That's correct.
Why'd he
In between the 2 seats, where that blue bag is situated.
Why'd he sit?
Why'd he sit? Because he's smelling one of the odors of the drugs that he's trained to find.
So as a result of him alerting there, what would you do next?
I would let Officer Sullivan know, and he would go ahead and conduct a search of the car.
So you'd probably just search like the glove compartment, the center console, probably just that area right there, right? That's the stop right there?
Nope, we would start at the bag, but we would search the entire vehicle.
Oh, you mean that bag right there that's in the car that Michelle was reaching for?
Yes, sir.
Huh. You gonna search that bag?
That's your bag? No?
Hold on, I have a question now. Miss Holly, are you okay with
Good.
Officer Sullivan
Settle.
now searching
See-
his car? You're good with that, right?
That's a defense. That's a defense attorney.
Public defender said she's fine with a search of the car. Let's search the car, Officer Sullivan. Oh, Lord, a search of the car.
This is your bag?
I've never had a bad day in my life.
What school do you go to, man?
What's that?
Glen Burnie sweatshirt.
The heck? Y'all been in my truck? Who's in my truck? Okay. What else is in there?
I didn't see Judge Spencer driving the truck.
What is that?
2 pounds of marijuana.
2 pounds?
Yeah, 2 pounds. There's some Ziploc bags in here.
Oh, some paraphernalia?
Some clear yeah. A scale.
Now what are you going to do? Probably charge like just the driver possession.
I think I might charge all of them.
Just Michelle. All.
She was driving though.
Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Sullivan just told me he's going to charge all 4 occupants with possession, just a misdemeanor, right? Of 2 pounds of marijuana and the baggies.
I think we got the scale and the baggies and 2 pounds of marijuana. I think we might have enough for
The distribution?
Distribution. I think so.
The felony.
Felony. Plus they stole the car. Oh. I forgot about that.
Miss Lowry, that the distribution, is that 20 years still?
Yes.
I know you
clear,
smell it again.
It's 5 for me.
Oh, it's marijuana. Whew, Miss Holly, you're right. It's just marijuana. It's only 5 years in the penitentiary. My bad. My bad. You're right. My bad. Anybody have a problem with them all being charged?
Even.
We're all good, right? We're all good. Oh, I don't have a problem. Miss Holly, here's your star pupil. Why is there a problem?
They still don't know their rights and they're self-incriminating.
Okay, Miss Holly, she says they don't know their rights and they're self-incriminating, but they're not under arrest yet.
Well, that doesn't stop them from being charged. All 4 of them are going to be charged.
And then what?
And then you better get yourself a lawyer.
Let's pause right here. It's 9 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday morning. You're going to be arrested. All 4 of them charged with misdemeanor, right?
Felony.
A felony. That means you leave my courthouse, you go down and see Ms. Lightus. And Ms. Lightus' courthouse, that's what I call the varsity. That's where the big boys and big girls play.
Your Honor, I think Monday's a holiday, so remember.
Oh,
Monday's a holiday.
snap.
Just remember that.
Today's Thursday. We have judicial education tomorrow. No judges tomorrow. That means you're arrested now. You see a judge not tomorrow, not Saturday, not Sunday. Monday, school's closed. So are we. You sit in jail to see a judge on Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning. You do have the right to see a commissioner between now and then. So let's walk this through. They're all arrested. There's 2 pounds of marijuana. Driver, her bag, she reached for it. What about these 2?
They would be charged.
Y'all got lawyers?
No IDs. I don't know who they are either.
And a stolen car?
And I would imagine that Ty would argue, that the state would argue, that the drugs were within the lunch reach and grasp of all 4 of them.
Ty already called downtown to Ms. Lightus. Ms. Lightus already called down back to APD. They got a warrant for her house. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. Watch the nexus here. 4 people, they met today in a car. They had no idea it was my car. It's my car. Are you charging me, Sullivan? I wasn't even there, bro.
And we're taking the report for a stolen vehicle, Your Honor. That's it.
I'm the victim. Victim. They're getting charged. They're going to jail. They got to hire a lawyer. And they spend 4 nights in jail. You ask me why? If I told you, I think it's a bad choice. She doesn't know what's in my car. Diana doesn't know James. James doesn't know Michelle, nor Chardonnay. None of them. I'm not saying that you don't just hang out with your friends. Know your friends. I'm not saying you don't go to a party, have a good time. Know who you're leaving with. I'm not saying you don't have a real good time at some random party at Glen Burnie, because y'all now friends. But you get in a random car with a tail light out, and it doesn't end well. Now, we get charged. They'll see a commissioner. How about bail? How y'all feel about bail here? We're going to set a bail? I mean, it's felony. Felony weight.
They're going to decide. So a commissioner's not a judge, sometimes not a lawyer. They're going to want to know, are you a flight risk? Are you in school? Do you have ties to the community? Have you failed to appear before? Do you have a juvenile record? Have you been in trouble before? Are you on juvenile probation? They're going to pry into your life. Your parents may have to post a bond, if they set a bond, for you to get out. And that could be anywhere from your own recognizance, so you just come to court, up to $25,000, $50,000, $100,000.
Watch this, though. Ms. Lightus, we're now at the bail review. Not only do we have a charge of the felony weight, but we have this going up the 95 corridor. What's that mean to you in your office?
They're distributing drugs on the 95 corridor because their story didn't make sense. If they were going to a football game at 9 o'clock on Thursday.
And at this point, it's just argument, and she's standing to tell some judge that it's just 4 kids going up the corridor with some 2 pounds of felony weight of weed on a Thursday to see the Philadelphia Eagles play, who stink and are not playing. What's your question?
They didn't check for evidence.
Evidence. Sullivan, where's your bag, bro?
Right here.
You mean the evidence that has Glen Burnie in it, or the weed that's in the bag?
But her fingerprints not on it.
Fingerprints. Miss Lowry, what's your name? Ariana wants fingerprints on the weed, and the sweatshirt says Glen Burnie.
We don't need fingerprints simply due to the fact that the Glen Burnie shirt already ties, presumably that passenger as being, possessing the items in that bag. Also, because of the location of the bag in the car, she constructively possessed the drugs, meaning that it's within an arm's reach, a lunge, a reaching distance, that she had access to have dominion or control over the bag and all the contents in it.
She dropped the mic on you right there, sister. That's the law. That right there's the law.
Now, of course,
Uh-oh.
a good lawyer
Uh-oh, here she comes. Listen, here she comes.
would argue, right, that you didn't have knowledge, it's not your car, you don't know what's in it, but all that comes later. When I'm making those arguments to the court, you've already been arrested, your mom and dad already know.
Pause.
you've already-
By later, she means she don't see you until no better than Tuesday at 10 for a 10:30 hearing. At best on Tuesday.
Yeah, but you don't go to trial for 2 to 3 months. So you have a felony charge on your record while you're applying for college or school.
Oh,
or
that's a great
summer
question.
jobs.
Ms. Pope, when you run their names tomorrow, or let's say Tuesday morning, you run all 4 of their names. Are all 4 of them have felony charges on their names? All 4 of them have stolen car theft charges on their names. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that Ms. Lowry does a fabulous job, and she prosecutes the possessor. And she convicts Michelle, the possessor of distribution, and they all get off. When's that trial, Ms. Lightus? When's the trial?
6 months after the arrest, maybe.
Let's just think about this. If you're a sophomore or a junior, you're a junior or a senior, you're applying for colleges or jobs over the summer, and they put your name in the system. Michelle, no middle name, no last name given because she was ornery that night. Convicted. But James, smooth brother in a shirt and tie, not convicted, charged. It sits on his record until Miss Lightus or Miss Lowry exposes that case or Miss Holly gets him off. It's sitting. So when you're all applying for jobs this summer, I'm looking you up. For my courthouse, oh man, y'all got charged with felony weight. What happened? I'm gonna pick any one of y'all not charged. Better. Miss Holly's gonna do a fabulous job and get all of you down to simple possession. Possession of marijuana. Let's even call it less than 10 grams. A civil citation. It sits. And here's the little known myth that I want you all to know. That civil infraction never goes away. How many sophomores I got? I love you. Juniors, I love you too. Seniors, I love you too. Listen to me. When you're applying as sophomores and juniors and seniors going forward for your jobs, or better yet, when you're applying for scholarships, the FAFSA forms, the federal forms that you need to get that scholarship money, let me ask a question. When you apply to the University of Maryland and they're going to take Katie? Caitlin. Caitlin applies in Maryland. She has the 4.0 because she's a genius like all y'all. Great student. Or Michelle, 4.0, great student, genius like all y'all. But Michelle has that conviction. Who y'all taking? Let's be honest, you're taking Caitlin. But Caitlin, still 4.0, great student. But Dina, possession of simple marijuana, just the possession. Who are you taking? Let's be honest, you're right. Caitlin, every day, all day. Make good choices. Now, you gonna arrest them all?
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Stand up.
Now they get arrested, and they gotta go.
Yeah.
Sullivan takes them back to APD. Yes, sir, you got a question? Do you want to go is the question. Do you want to go? Oh, no, you don't want to go? My bad.
But if they're being arrested now, then don't they have to have the right to vote now?
They do. They will. They are right now behind the door. Mirandized. Now, anybody have a problem with search now? Anybody? Oh, Otto.
There's one.
I need to get your full name and a phone number because I'm going to get you a job hooked up with Miss Holiday, okay?
Is there proof that they were Mirandized?
Yes, they're right back to doing it right now. And then when we have a trial, they'll come right over here to the witness stand behind Ms. Holly. They'll raise their right hand. The bailiff in the back will walk up. They'll swear him in. And then Ms. Lowry asks them all those questions.
But Miranda is different than evidence, right? So Miranda is your right against self-incrimination, your right to an attorney, your right, it's a broad spectrum of your rights, right? Because people will say, Miss Holly, they didn't tell me my rights. Well, they found, a kilo of heroin in your car, whatever they found. That doesn't affect whether they Mirandized you. If they found it and they put you in handcuffs and you were held for 35 minutes and then they started asking you about it and questioning you and interrogating you and you made statements, then I could argue that you weren't Mirandized, right?
Well, what thing was given? The only thing that we had right here was by Michelle or trying to get out of the car, right?
And then she said she went to Glen Burnie.
Were they under arrest? Who said they're under arrest? Miss Lowry. I'm sorry, Miss Holly. Miss Lowry, were they under arrest?
No, they were simply being detained at that point. There were 4 subjects in the car. There was only one vehicle. He was securing them at that location for the officer's safety.
And when they tell me that, I agree. Listen to me. I got one dude, 4 occupants, no ID, stolen car. The law says he can pull him out. The law says he can put him on the curb and make him sit till he gets there. And under my quick math, he was here, Tucker was here in less than 30 minutes. You good with that? 30 minutes or less?
Well, 30 minutes.
Wow,
No,
what
like
the heck?
7 maybe?
He happened to be in the neighborhood.
He was here in like 2, so
Yeah.
I'm okay with
No,
this
there's
time.
not.
He was in the neighborhood.
No.
Under the law, until Sullivan get their IDs, know who they are, run their name for warrants, find out where they live, whose car it really is, stop is still good. It's one stop. If Sullivan came back here, gave all back their IDs, gave them a ticket or a warning for the taillight and said, have a good day, be on your merry way, and then Tucker got here, then what do you say?
Absolutely not. That's not.
Right, 2 different stops. One stop for the taillight, say be gone. Then the search or the scan, the law says no good. But in our scenario, right here, right now, it was 7 minutes. I bet you she would argue 30 minutes is good. I bet you she'd argue 40 minutes is good because there's 4 occupants. I bet you she'd argue 50 minutes is still good because the car was stolen, 4 occupants, no names, no ID, right?
Yes, and someone reaching around making suspect movements in the car.
Sit down.
Ooh, ooh. What that means? You're reaching here. So that's a great point, Ty. It's a great point. What's the last time you stopped me? No, not today. Listen to me. Here's my public service announcement for the day. When you are stopped, I ask you, I beg you, oh, they're back. Dang. Giddy up. Why different colors? Well, see, tell me your name again. Ariana? Ariana asked me why they're in different colors. Here's the simple answer. Because Bobby said so. In its simplest form, because he said so. They're under arrest. They take it back there, they search them, they put on different clothes, they don't have pockets and things of that nature. They don't want the metal zippers in your pants because you can use as weapons in the jail. When you go to jail, you wear what they tell you to wear. I want to change gears for 2 seconds. Let me ask a question. Let's just say it wasn't in the car. Let's say that we were at the winter dance at Broadneck. And let's just say that on the way in, Tucker thought he smelled some marijuana and wants to search her locker. Can I search her locker? Do you have one in the building? How about I want to search her bag in school? Anybody have a problem with that, Otto? Do you need a, hold on. I have a question. Hold on. Look right here. See this guy right here? Tell me your name, sir. That's code for me. It's his building. Second, let me ask public defender. In this school, at the winter dance, it's gonna be a heck of, we're gonna shake it. In that dance, Tucker wants to go in. He wants, you know what? He had a call from the lieutenant saying he thinks there's marijuana in the school. He wants to bring his dog in. Let's walk through. You need a warrant? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Tell me, love.
I would love to say yes, but no, you don't have an expectation of privacy.
No expectation of privacy of a daggone thing in the school. He says he wants a dog. Dog's coming. And dog's searching. Now, Tucker, your dog probably can't smell through the metal lockers, right? He's not that good.
Certainly you can.
No, he can't. How about in the bag, gym bag, with my man's sweaty gym clothes?
Yep, you can.
How about in the bathroom? You know how they're trying to hide it? They're all trying to be slick. In the Ziploc baggie behind the urinal.
He can.
Oh, my Lord.
That's why we use the dogs. Their nose is so well.
Still have a question about searching that locker in that school? How about on school property? How about the car parked on school on the parking lot? Anybody problem with that? I bet you that man, if I asked him, will tell me that to park on any property in the school, he makes you sign a form and says you consent to a search. I bet he does. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can somebody get her a jacket so she can come by well? Yes, ma'am. He felt like it. You asked a question earlier about the warrant. For your house, you're absolutely right. For your house, you have expected to have privacy in your home, that no one's going to intrude your home, an illegal search. But on the roadways, no privacy expectations. In the school belonging to the county, not there. Ms. Lowry's going to say, go ahead and search all day, every day. Ms. Holly's going to say, but Judge, the law's not on my side. Sergeant Tucker and his partner searched this car, my truck. We'll search the school if you ask them to. Anybody question about what the dog did or why the dog did what he did? How he was trained? I have a question. So did you know before he sat that there may be something in the car?
Absolutely, yep.
And I know y'all read this case. I just saw it. You didn't see it. I just saw this case that says now the law says they don't have to actually have the formal sit. That's the final alert, right?
Yep, that's the desired final response, but it's what the dog does and the changes in the dog's behavior.
Oh, see, there we
prior to
go.
That is when the dog is really communicating to me, the handler, that he's picking up an odor that he's trained to find.
How many children do you have?
How many children?
Yes.
2.
3. I have 3 children too. He has 3. I say 3 because that's one of them. Here's my analogy to you guys. I have 3 kids. Boy, girl, boy. All of them different. But I know their tells. I know when something's up. I know when they're not doing what's supposed to be right. I know when my son comes sit next to me like this. Hey, Daddy. Hi, Daddy. What's up, Daddy? That's code for he wants something. I say, Todd, what do you want, bro? Where do you want to go? Like that, Sergeant Tucker knows when his partner starts breathing heavy, tongue flapping, he's on to something. When we sit, that's the final tell. The law now says he doesn't have to sit anymore. If he gets in here, he starts breathing heavy, and he can testify to it, and Ms. Lowry asks the questions, lays the foundation for him being an expert, it's over. Search is going on. He's in the car with Sullivan. Yes, sir.
How long does the canine training take?
Sergeant Tucker?
So when we get a dog that has no training
sit down?
whatsoever,
I'm sorry, Caitlin.
before that dog
Thank you.
ever goes on the street, they're usually about 4 to 6 months of training every day, Monday through Friday, before the dog reaches a level of competency before we actually certify them and put them out on the street. And then once they're out on the street, the training is continuous and ongoing. So every month, a couple days each month, the dogs are taken off the street and held specifically for continuing training.
But our dogs, and I just say because Lieutenant Tucker's, it's the 4 handlers we have. It's every day that they're working. They're training, whether it's with each other or by themselves. Our guys, it's constant. So I mean, these dogs are amazing. It's every day.
Ms. George?
Officer Tucker, what age did you get the dog and start training with him? How old is
Generally,
the
we
dog?
get the dogs when they're anywhere between a year to a year and a half and start training with them. So they're still young, they're still, puppies. ATAC here is still really a young puppy. He's only 2.5. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, I mean, we look less at breed and more at the traits of the dog. And you see he's very active and wants to work and do something. That's a specific trait we look for. We look for dogs that have high drive, high energy, curiosity, the desire to work and please, okay? So it's not necessarily a specific breed. Now, we primarily use German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois, sometimes Labradors, other retrieving type dogs that are typically hunting type dogs, because those breeds generally possess the traits that we want. So in the interest of us running an efficient operation, we generally stay with specific breeds that possess those traits.
And what can they detect?
What can they detect? So all of our dogs in the city police department are trained to find marijuana, heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine. Okay? 4 basic drug odors.
Yes, ma'am.
So yes, most of our dogs are dual purpose or have different disciplines. All of our dogs have a detection specialty. So with ATAC, it's drug detection. Some of our dogs are explosives or firearms detection, but then they generally do some other type of patrol work also, such as like ATAC does tracking and trailing, so he can follow human scent. Some of our other dogs do full-blown patrol work, which is, they'll look for suspects hiding in buildings or yards. They do apprehension work, so if someone were to try to flee from officers or threaten or injure an officer, the dog can be used to apprehend them and take them safely into custody. So yeah, we try to get the most out of the dogs that we can, because again, it makes us a more efficient unit.
Yes, ma'am. No, I said that's one of his tells. That's his signal to his handler that he or she is sensing whatever he or she is searching for. If he does that, then yes, that's probably cause for them to go ahead and have the search.
I didn't hear what
How do you prove that ATAC's not just thirsty?
So, with every individual dog, there's a certain set of change of behaviors that they consistently display when they're working or looking for the drugs that they've been trained to find. It could be their pace changes, their head snaps. Like if we're working around the outside of the car and the dog abruptly snaps his head back and starts to focus on one point and then bracket back and forth on the side of the car, what the dog is doing is he's working in the scent cone of the odor that's coming out of the car, okay? And the dog is working within that scent cone, so that's where you see the dog abruptly changes its direction and starts narrowing down where the source of the drugs are. And the intensity, now ATAC, like he wanted to go up over the seats and into where that bag was before he sat down. He actually backed off the seats and sat down because up on the seats he wasn't comfortable to sit down, so he backed away from it. But we train our dogs to get as close to the source of the odor as they can. So most of our drug dogs will intently go towards the source of the odor. Some of them will paw or bite at the item until they are satisfied that they're as close as they can get, and then they'll rest into that sit or that down. Okay.
And part of what he told you is that ATAC and Lieutenant Tucker go for training not only twice a month mandated, but they also do it on their own, but they keep a log of that stuff. So they have to tell in their log of a false positive if it ever happens.
Yep.
And that's all in their report. So when we come to trial, Ms. Lowry or one of her colleagues will ask those questions to qualify the handler as an expert. The handler, will tell the judge about his training or her training, their experience on the road, in the field with their partner, how they got certified, and when they go and they do their every day or every month, twice a month, training by themselves after being put on the street, on the road. Then they have to tell the judge or the jury that they have done this, and there have been a false positive or no false positive. They may say there's no false positives. They have to be able to articulate to the judge what he or she sees, how they know that dog is alerting for what he or she is alerting. ATAC wasn't thirsty. There was some weed in the car. Before the dog goes, any more questions for the dog? Or Officer Sullivan? Yes, sir.
When a dog takes someone, is it considered excessive force if he bites them?
So, just like anything in law enforcement, there's parameters that we operate under. And when we use the dog like that, we're using the dog as a use of force. So we have to operate under the same parameters that any other officer would use when using force, whether it's their baton or their handgun or whatever. So we're gonna look at how severe the crime is, whether or not the person is trying to get away from us, whether or not he poses a risk to us or other individuals. We look at things as the age of the suspect. So if you go to 7-Eleven and steal a candy bar and don't stop for the officer and we send a police dog after you and the dog bites you, that's probably going to be considered excessive force because the severity of the crime is not that great. Now, if you go into 7-Eleven and you steal something and you run away from the officer, but as you're running, you reach for your waistband and start to pull a gun out and we send the police dog after and the dog apprehends you, then that's probably not going to be considered an excessive use of force because there was a step up in the severity of the crime when you reach for a weapon. So it all depends on the situation. It could be, it could not be.
And they document all of that.
Yep.
When they use force, and we get that as attorneys, and
Yep.
we investigate and look into it and see whether we think it's a good argument or not, and it's always up to a judge or someone to determine whether or not.
Yes, sir.
What made you want to become a canine handler?
The interest. I mean, I worked for the department for 6 or 7 years first, doing routine patrol stuff and just operating around the dogs and seeing the specialty work that they did and the challenges with training them and, just piqued my interest, and that's what drove me towards applying for the position. Fully lost.
Before the dog leaves, 'cause he has to go do real work, anybody have more questions for the lieutenant or the dog? Yes, ma'am.
Plots. Do I deem them a threat, other dogs that aren't mine? Like if I'm on a call and there's a dog there? No, I don't deem them a threat. If the dog acts in a threatening manner or lunges or tries to bite, then yeah, I would consider it a threat. I would just react appropriately to it.
He's not sending ATAC out to fight the dog.
Fully
though.
lost. Yeah, no. I mean, and we work with these dogs, so it's not uncommon while we're out doing a search that there will be other dogs in the area or other civilians and stuff like that. And through the training, the dog has to learn to work around those distractions.
Did you see when ATAC alerted what the lieutenant gave him? What's in your pocket? That's the reward. It's not a biscuit. It's not candy. That's the reward. He wants to play. He works to play.
Yep. Boy, boss.
Yes, sir. It's his kid.
Yep, the dogs are with us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When we get off work, our job is not really done. We still have to take the dog home, make sure they're cared for, their welfare, they're, fed, and veterinary care is taken care of. It's a full-time job. Yep, we don't get to leave it at work. Stop.
Yes, ma'am. How does ATAC work with your family and your children?
Yeah, well, they're a tool for the police department, so we have to treat them as such. But yeah, we acclimate them into the family, but we don't treat them like a pet. So if my kids have friends come over, the kids aren't running around in the backyard with the police dog because we don't want the liability of something occurring. I mean, they're trained. They're still dogs. You see him; he's a young dog, and he's jumping around wanting to play. They're still dogs underneath of it all, but we have to treat them just like any other tool that a police officer has on their tool belt and think about the associated liabilities that come with them. Because if, let's say that, a neighboring kid was at my house and was playing around with the dog and the dog nipped him, who do you think becomes liable for that issue? It's not just me, but then the police department and then the city that employs us. It goes right on up the chain. So we have to think about them just like any other tool that we have. Okay?
I'm going to let Lieutenant Tucker and Officer Sullivan go. Before I go, I want one last thing with them. Is the first thing he said when he pulled over Dinah in this car was, "She acts suspicious. She acts suspicious." She was sitting here and her hands were down here. Sullivan, does that make you nervous?
I think it would just depend on the time of day. If I can
How about
see,
here?
yeah, when you start reaching underneath the seat, like in your pockets.
How about here?
Yeah, like you're going to, because what are we saying? License and registration. So
I
it's
tell
in the
you
glove
that
box.
because I am just like you. I drive the streets of this county. I live in this county. My kids go to school in the county. I don't want to be stopped. Now, there may be a time somebody behind me. I may have been going 56.
I got you. I got pulled over. My police car is unmarked. The windows are dark. I got pulled over on 50 by the transit police the other day, and I was nervous. I was like, oh man. And I was wearing this right here, and I was like, so what I did with the windows being dark, all 4 windows came down. All 4 windows came down, and I had my hands up on the steering wheel, and he walked
Right
up.
there.
And he could see the lights in the inside, it's all undercover and everything. He said, oh, hey, officer, how are you? And I was just like, he's like, yeah, the windows. And I'm like, I know. And then my badge, ID, everything, and it's a work car. All right, but I was nervous. So like I said, I was like, oh, geez, what am I doing? Like, who I got to tell about this? But I said, windows came down, hands were up. He could see in, and it just, all it did, and when pulling that car over, and this is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's daytime. It just gives us a little bit more, sense of security. You get that, like, that warm and fuzzy feeling, like, okay, now all these windows are down. I can see into the car. I can see the driver. I can see the hands.
But if he can't see the hands, then what happens?
You just get nervous. You get that heightened alert. Nervous probably not the right word, but that's what it is. So, like, it's just,
Nervous
if something
is the word.
stands
He
up
gets
on
anxious. He wants to pull you out.
Yeah.
So do me a favor.
I don't know you. It's an unknown.
Do me a favor. When you get pulled over, because it happens to all of us, even my boss, he's back behind me, he gets pulled over. Hi, Chief. He has his hands on the steering wheel just like you and me. Hands on the steering wheel when they get there. I know I wasn't speeding, but I'm going to say, yes, sir, officer, how are you? And he asks for license registration. I don't go get it. I say, officer, registration in my glove compartment. May I reach for it?
Yes.
He'll tell me yes.
Yeah.
He knows what I'm doing. If I do this, he freaks out. I'm wearing a suit coat. If I reach back here for my wallet, I'll tell him, what else is back here? You don't know. It's my mic, not my gun. But he don't know that. Let me say this. I'm a firm believer that we are all human. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Happens. You know what? It's his job to figure it out. Some judge. Let me figure it out. But don't be like, oh, heck no, I wasn't speeding. I'm gonna fight you. Come on, let's get this on. Then what happens? Then what happens? I'm in handcuffs. I'm with Bobby. Yeah, see? Look at Bobby. I don't even say a bad name to him. You know what? I may think something. I don't even mumble my breath. Because you know what? I want to live to fight another day. I'm going to make one good choice. I'm going to take my ticket. I'm going to hire Miss Holly. I'm going to look Judge Morrissey in the face and say, Judge, I wasn't speeding, and his radar was not calibrated. And he doesn't even know what radar is. And he says not guilty. Oh, you know what I say all the time? I said it. I consider him a friend. We had a case, comes in. Sullivan, are you positive that vehicle crossed double yellow line twice? He'll be like, Judge, I'm not sure. I appreciate that candor and honesty. Not guilty. But if you're on the street and you're like, I didn't cross the double yellow line, number one finger, screw you. But not that one. You're going to be arrested. You're going to be charged. You're going to be cited. Why? Make a good choice. Take a ticket. Hire Miss Holly or come see Judge Morrissey. You're presumed innocent. They make mistakes. They have bad days. So do I. I've had a bad day before. Yes, sir.
So you talked like you guys can get pulled over as well. If you do something, can like a police officer arrest you?
Arrest me, put me in jail, and throw me into the building. Then I got big issues. First, I call my wife. Then I make sure my kids get picked up from school. Then I call the boss. Dear Chief, it's Shane. Shane, what are you doing? Well, Chief, I got about 10 seconds left on my phone call. I was arrested. Can you call Denise and I need a bail review?
Stop.
And then I have to call the boss.
We cannot disclose to the police officers that we're judges. If we do, that would be removal from office.
If I tell him, hey, I'm a judge, beat feet, he's like, Shane, bring your gavel and your robe, leave it on my desk, peace. Get a new job, son.
We cannot use the prestige of our office for anything at all, so I can't identify anything. I can't write letters for you all to get into college on my judicial letterhead. I can write write it on my personal stationery, but who wants that, right? Why are they asking me for a referral for a kid that I don't know, right? I'm not gonna write a recommendation for a kid I don't know, but I get asked all the time. I can't do that because it would be lending the fact that I'm the chief judge of the court to this kid, and I'm not permitted to do that. We have to stay neutral all the time. So I have a question for everybody. Do you mind, Shane?
Sure, go ahead, Chief.
What do you think the role of the court is? What's our job? What are we supposed to be doing? Sir?
Figuring out if someone's guilty and like proving that they are guilty and
Good answer. Anybody else? Ma'am? Interpret the law? Is that what you said? Are we supposed to be tough on crime? Do you have an opinion? Parents, you're involved in this too, or administrators back there? Anybody? Well, I can suggest to you that our function is not to be tough on crime. Law enforcement officers, that's their job. Madam State's Attorney Leitis, that's her job to be tough on crime. Maybe, maybe not, right? You may view it a little differently. Our job isn't to be tough on crime, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. Our job, like the young gentleman said, is to be neutral and unbiased. That's why we can't use our prestige of office for anything. We can't engage in any other employment other than being a judge. We are designed to be neutral and unbiased. I don't care if you come before me, and I don't care if you come before me. It makes no difference to me. It makes no difference as to your race, or your gender, or your identity, or who you are, if you're rich or you're poor. The scales of justice are blind for a reason, right? You see Lady Justice, she has the scales, she has a blindfold across her face. And that's because we don't care about things like that. What we have to do is apply the facts of each particular case that comes before us, and each one's different, each one's unique. You may have been arrested 7 times before. You may not have ever been arrested and involved in the judiciary. You may have 10 criminal acts against you before. You may be an armed robber, but the kid that was next to you in the seat next to you that you don't know that you're driving a car with, did that happen here today?
They were arrested, Chief.
Okay. Why are you in a car where you don't know who the people are you're with?
It was
right?
stolen, too.
Yeah, it always, you know, when someone comes up to a judge, right, we're human beings too, and it doesn't make sense. You know, someone says, oh, I got in a car with people I don't know. You guys really do that? Are you going to do that? Because I'd suggest to you probably want to take a moment and think about what you're doing, because everything has implications down. Shane said he has 3 children, and you have 2 kids. I have 2 teenagers also that are in high school. In fact, both Shane and I's son came to this program last year, or yours was 2 years ago. Mine was last year, and I showed pictures of him when he was a little boy up on the screen, so thoroughly humiliated him, but it was good for us. It was a bonding episode for the children.
Until we got home.
Oh yeah, I got the, again, my wife texted me before I left the courtroom, what are you doing, why are you embarrassing our job? But the idea is, and the idea of all this, and I hope you enjoy yourself, and I'm going to stop talking. Thank you, Shane. Shane does a great job. Can we hear it for him? This is whether he had children or not, Shane would be doing this because he cares about you guys. And the whole purpose of this is to try to give you an idea of who we are. We're not some strange entity that's out there. We're real, live, living people. We have kids just like you guys, your age. We're trying to figure it out as parents. Trying to get my kid into college right now. He started driving about a year ago. I worry every night when he goes out that he's going to be home. But I'm really glad he's driving too, so I don't have to go pick him up at midnight on a Friday night, right? But it comes with responsibilities when he gets that. He knows that. If he's 1201, I'm going to be on him. But the one thing that we agreed on when he went out is that if he gets in a problem, he can call me at any time. But he doesn't have to call me. I want to ask questions. He may get in trouble. I haven't promised that with him. But I'm going to go get him. I'm not going to ask any questions. I'm going to go pick him up if there's an issue. If he's been drinking or if his friends have been drinking, I'll come. I'll get out of bed and go get him. No questions asked. I'm going to make sure everybody gets home safe. But it doesn't have to be me. It could be one of your other friends, right? You don't have to be a hero. You don't have to stop other people. You just have to watch out for yourself. Because it's number one. You are number one, and you have to protect yourself at all times. Because you don't know where you're going to be later on in life, right? Anybody want to be a judge in this room? I had absolutely no idea when I was a dude. Come talk to me afterwards. I I had no idea I wanted to be a judge, much less even be an attorney when I was your guys' age. No idea. But I can tell you what, had I gotten pulled over and arrested and charged with a drug crime or an alcohol crime, I wouldn't be here today. It's that important, and you don't know where you're gonna be later on. You may be trying to get a secret security clearance with the government with a very good job that's gonna allow you to travel overseas. My wife was a foreign service officer and lived in Brazil and in Indonesia and all over the place. She couldn't have done that if she had a criminal record. So this is a real important time in your lives right now. And again, you don't have to be a hero. Just watch out for yourself. When you go to get in a car, who am I getting a car with, right? If I don't know these people, maybe I'll get an Uber, right? You guys all have Uber on your phone? I hope you do. It's the greatest thing ever. You never have to drive drunk ever in your life because you got Uber. Will it cost you money? Absolutely it will. What's it gonna cost you? $30 to get home if you take an Uber? It's gonna cost you. Anybody have an idea of what a defense counsel would charge for a DWI? Ms. Colt-Lightis, you have some experience.
I would say $5,000 to $10,000 at least.
You guys, I got a nice suit on. I was an attorney at one point, right? I get 5 or 10 grand, so I studied so hard because I wanted to make money and come out and help people. But it's the difference between that little decision can cost you a night in jail, right? Maybe you're only 2 blocks away from your house. You're like, I got this, no problem. I've driven it 1,000 times before. But you know what? It's not worth it. So think to yourself, just give yourself 1 extra second before you do something and say, why am I doing this? And is this a good idea?
I have the best boss in the land because it's not I get to interrupt him. I don't care about the criminal offense. I don't care. My problem is that if you get in the car with someone who's drunk, because y'all gonna make good decisions, y'all leave my courtroom today. Make great decisions. But you get in the car with someone else who's drunk or high or driving too fast or one decision, no seatbelt, then I'm gonna come to your graduation. I'm going to your funeral. I tell people in my courtroom all the time, if you drink and drive, and I put you on probation, and you do it again, I have failed your parents, I have failed your mother, I have failed your father, because you're gonna be dead somewhere, and I failed. I didn't help you get help. Let us help you. I don't care about the conviction. I love you, Chief. Thanks. I don't care about the conviction. I want you alive. Now, this is gonna segue into a great thing we're gonna do momentarily, but the Chief is right. One choice, jail, death, or better choice, seatbelt. Best choice. Hey, Dad, Shane was drunk tonight. Can you come get me? I'm good with that. I say it all the time. I'm being recorded. Wendell has it on video. Ask teachers. I got a cell phone. He lies. He's not in bed at midnight. He's awake. I know his wife. He's awake until 12:01 when his son's home. He ain't sleeping. Call me. I'll come get you.
Shane will give you his number so you can call
I'll
him.
give you my cell number. I'm not gonna tell you a lie. Bobby, you still here? I've called Bobby before. He's my friend. I'll deal with Bobby at 12 o'clock at night. Bobby, yeah, I know. Tiff had me out. We had 2 beers, 2 turned into 3. 3 turned into 4, I just had my 5th. And I gotta be home. Right down Turtle, down the street to Turtle. Happens. You know what I do? Bobby, you still here? Let's cross the bridge. Yes, stupid, I'm on the way. Let me call Mr. George. Thank God he gets him out. Then I get home. I'm home safe.
Hey, Bobby, can I get your number?
I'm home safe. Then I got 2 problems. Bobby on Monday and Denise on Friday at 12:01. That's my wife. And you know what? She sees the boss around. She's like, hey, Chief, where was Shane last night? Don't make a bone about it. I'm over 21. I'm allowed to drink. I'm allowed to drink. I can't drink and drive. I'll make a good choice. I'll call Bobby. He will cuss me out on Monday, and then you know what? He tells him. He tells Belle from the back. Every once in a while, my dad pops in these things. He's like, hey, Mr. Spencer, I gotta get Shane again this week. It's awkward. I jest, because not more than once. What's happened? I'm not afraid. I'm a grown man. I'm 47 years old. I'm a grown man. This is how much I care about you. That's how much I care about you. It's a family thing for me. Daddy, you here? And the man's here. Like magic, the man appears. Like magic. It's like magic. I tell you that because this is my job. This ain't a program for me, this is my job. It's a field trip. A field trip. Every time that man's here. And every time I ask the same question, would you come get me today? The answer is still yes. The problem is, I own my car, I own my home, I have my own family, but then I gotta deal with my daddy. I'm 47 and that man will take my keys from me. And I gotta hear about it.
All right, you're kind of eating into my time.
Oh, my bad, Chief.
That's all I wanted to say. Just, I hope you guys.
It's good to be boss, right?
I hope you guys enjoy your day here today. It's supposed to be fun for you all. I hope you learn things. The District Court of Maryland has 118 judges. Shane and I are 2 of those judges. We have 34 courthouses. We go all the way from Garrett County out west to Ocean City and Snow Hill down on the eastern shore. So if you have any interest about learning what we do as the judiciary and the district court, we're one of 2 trial courts here in Maryland, we'd be happy. Please contact us. We are very grateful from the administration of the schools that you chose to bring your students here today. I'm very appreciative that all the other individuals that you're going to hear from have taken time out of their day. She's the state's attorney. We have Madam Public Defender. They're supposed to be in court right now, but they're taking time out of their day to do this so that you guys can hopefully gain something from this. So thank you all and have a good day.
This is a great segue to the next part of our program. In a moment, I'm going to ask Bobby George to dim the lights for me. I'm going to put on a short video on here that I'm going to ask you to check out. I want you to watch this video intently. This is a video of someone who is just like you. It's a high school kid living here in Maryland who made a bad choice. I'm going to let the video play for a little while, but then I brought the brains of the operation. I'm smart enough to know when I don't know what I know. And when I don't know what I need to know, I bring in help. So today I brought in a trauma nurse who's going to help me or help you understand this video, what's going on here. But please watch this video. Halfway through or so, I'm going to ask my friend Ashley George to speak to you about what's going on in the video so you get a full understanding. But I challenge you to watch this video and pay attention as it plays. Please and thank you.
So in the video, the scene before this you saw, that was Sean's father. He really was in the crash and they really did pull the plug on him, which means they turned off his ventilator, which was breathing for him, and he couldn't breathe for himself, and in the end he died. Obviously he can't breathe for himself. The next boy you saw was Rob, and Judge Spencer, he's a vegetable still, right?
He's still in a home, yes, in Baltimore County. Like not walking, like Ashley showed you, he's still not brushing his own teeth. He's still not getting dressed by himself.
He never recovered that brain function. So when you're in a car accident, even if it's maybe not as severe as this kind of car accident, most people can sustain what's called a coup-contre-coup injury. Your brain is kind of floating in your skull, even though you may not seem like that, but your brain is in this hard, bony capsule, okay? And when your head shoots forward, can you get in an accident, your brain slams into the front of your skull, and then with whiplash, your head goes back again, and your brain slams into the back of your skull. And that injures both parts of your brain, the front and the back. When it's injured, your body sends blood up to your brain and makes it swell, trying to heal it. Well, your skull is hard and it doesn't have room to swell. And if they don't get your skull off and your brain can't heal itself, it dies, and which is what happened to Rob. And yeah, he's still alive, but he's not alive with any kind of independence.
Ashley, tell our friends about the girl who was in the car in the back seat.
So what they don't talk about is there was a female in the car, and she was in the back seat. She was unrestrained, meaning she wasn't wearing a seatbelt. She went through the front windshield of the car and died on impact.
3 people, 1 car, 2 dead, 1 in a vegetable state. Over what? 3 bad choices. A little bit too fast, took of that joint, and no seatbelt. Young lady had no seatbelt on, out of the car. And Ashley describes it better than I, but I mean, she, what's the word you, but threw it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
she propelled through the windshield. No seatbelt, simple. That joint. Everybody thinks it's okay to have that joint. I have two problems with that joint. First off, is it still illegal to drive under the influence of marijuana, Ms. Lightis? Yes, it is. I thought so. And actually, when you smoke that joint, nothing happens to you. Your senses are all straight up good to go, right? You're perfect.
Absolutely not. Everything is slowed. Your response time, your critical thinking skills. Maybe you don't feel it when you're just, hey, like sitting talking with your friends. But he ran a stop sign, which maybe was, you know, I've run a stop sign before, Dad. But you know, if he was maybe had all of his senses intact, he would have seen the car coming and could have stopped in time. But his response time was delayed because of the act of the drugs.
Common perception, misperception is that you smoke that joint, nothing happens, but you eat a bunch of Doritos and a Big Mac. That's not true. You do eat those things, so I hear. But your senses are delayed. She said it, I'm gonna repeat it, are delayed. You get behind the wheel of a car and everything's not right. And bad things happen. We are never, anyone in this part of the courtroom, gonna ever be the fun police. Now none of us are sworn officers left. We're not the fun police. We want you to have fun. I want you to enjoy high school. It should be a great time in high school. But I want you to live to see all 4 years and then do better things after that. Ashley's giving you the G version of that 'cause she's smart. She's now made me better because she turned it off. And she talked, because before I used to let it play and a little bit lost, because what she didn't tell you is that snot sucking is nasty. And there's sucking snot, as she said, out of his neck. Because he can't breathe, right? He can't swallow.
So when you or I have a cold or there's stuff in our lungs, we cough, right? And sometimes you cough up junk, green or yellow or junk, right? And then you can swallow it. So you can clear out your own lungs. He can't. And if they don't suction it, he gets pneumonia, his lungs fill up with fluid, because he can't do it himself.
Ashley is a trauma nurse, and we have partnered with Ashley, and we invited her because part of the team because she's so smart, but she sees things that I don't see every day, that you don't see every day, and I hope you never see her. But Ashley and I speak, and the problem that Ashley's seeing now is that she's seeing an uptick, a rise, an increase. People your age in her ER. Why are they there, Ashley?
We see everything from car accidents, overdoses. In Baltimore City, as opposed to Anne Arundel County, we see a lot more of violent crimes, shootings, stabbings, assaults. One of the scariest things, and I work in Baltimore City, I don't work in Anne Arundel County, but Baltimore City is also easily accessible to Anne Arundel County, to PG County, to Queen Anne's County, where I live, is the drugs that come up the 95 corridor, down to 95 corridor. The thing that's scary, you guys, is they're lacing marijuana with fentanyl. There's been at least 2 fatal overdoses that I know of.
How many of y'all know your dealers personally?
Don't raise your hand.
Ms. Lightis, Ms. Lowry, right here. And can you call Tucker back? We'll sweep her on the way out. This one right here, I'll get her name for you. I hope none of you, A, have a dealer, and B, don't know him or her personally, and C, I don't want you using that marijuana. My problem is that you don't know your dealer. You don't know where that marijuana came from or what they put on it, but that fentanyl, it's a killer, right?
Yeah, people think because, they get a prescription for Narcan. So Narcan is the antidote for opiates. Opiates are heroin or pills like Oxy or fentanyl. So if you take heroin and you overdose, I can give you Narcan and it will reverse your overdose and it'll wake you up.
But you're already dead. She's bringing you back.
Right, you're dead, you're not breathing, so I'm bringing you back. Problem is, fentanyl's way stronger than heroin. And the same dose of Narcan is not gonna wake you up. If I'm lucky, I got 2, 3, 4 doses of Narcan to give you to wake you up. But my brother who's
how many does that carry? How many does Sullivan carry?
Probably one.
Yeah. Officers and EMTs are issued 1 dose of Narcan. 1. She's in a hospital. She has it at her disposal. But 1 on the street. 1 Narcan, I think, she says, not going to reverse fentanyl.
Nah.
How many times stronger is fentanyl? I heard it's as much as 100 times.
It's 100 times.
What's it
Yeah.
used for?
Fentanyl is even
Fent-
stronger than that.
So we use fentanyl in the trauma bays for patients who have really extreme injuries, like they have a femur fracture, they have a gunshot wound to the chest, they have, some of their skin ripped off from a machine injury. It is literally used in surgery to sedate patients, to keep them under and pain-free while they're in surgery, or we use it to reset bones or staple somebody's head back together. It's really serious anesthetic.
You don't know where that weed, and I say it because I'm not naive. And just worse than I sit in this courthouse all the time and we see people your age or a little bit older than you coming here, oh, I just had a dime bag of weed. I just had a joint. That dime bag of weed, you have no idea where it came from. That dealer wants you to buy again from him or her because that's profit. So they want you to have that good high. So to show you have that good high, they put that fentanyl in, they take you a little bit over that edge. And then it's a ball game, it's a wrap. But let's just say you survive the accident. Ashley does her job excellent. Awesome job, Ashley. Ms. Gladys, then what happens?
You're going to get prosecuted for driving while under the influence of drugs.
A year in jail, $1,000 fine, 12 points, 9 months suspension on your license from the jump.
If you survive.
Good point. Make good choices. Make good choices. That's all I want you to do. I'm begging you. Sean and Ryan, Ryan is not living a great life right now. Any questions of Ashley about the science, the medical part of this? Whether it's Sean and Ryan, whether it's how your body reacts to marijuana or alcohol, the effects, the length, ask the expert. That's why she's here, because she knows. She sees it. People like you, although illegal, people like you, your age, are in her ER on a regular basis. Fighting to save your lives. I'd rather you never meet her again.
I'd be happy to show you around if you wanted to become a medical professional, but I'd really not like to be taking care of you and consoling your mother in my trauma bay.
Good question, ma'am.
Because it's a better high, is what they say. So I'll tell you a story. 2 or 3 years ago, Memorial Day weekend, I was working, and we got 1 overdose, we got 2 overdoses, we got 3 overdoses, 4. Somebody, by the time the first overdose started to kind of come around and was talking and was normal, we said, what's going on? And they said, oh, I went to my regular dealer and he gave me this Try It bag. They're giving it's like a free sample, right? He had laced it with something stronger for a better high in hopes that, oh my gosh, I got this great high from this dealer. I'm going to go back and I'm going to buy again. The problem was he kept overdosing all of these people. So they try and make their product more attractive by putting other stuff in it so that you choose that dealer over the other guy down the street who's just got straight up weed.
Over her dealer. Question over there, Ash.
Okay, but why would they do that? They do it overdose. It's like if they kill you, then you're not buying.
They don't care about you. They got your money, bro. You paid them. They don't care about you.
But when they want you to pay, you're paying like gas.
They want you to get high and come back for another high. You're right.
Do you know how addictive heroin and those things are? Is I had a case where an individual had OD'd on fentanyl, and as soon as they brought him through, he went right back to that same dealer because he liked it so much. That's the sickness that's involved, and it is a sickness addiction. It's really not a criminal thing. It becomes criminal if you do things with it, but it's a sickness just like anything else. And that's how powerful that addictive nature is that he just OD'd and he couldn't wait to go back to the same dealer that just sold him that. It's scary. When you hear that as a judge up here, you're like, wow, what am I supposed to do with that? How do I break that addiction cycle? And that's what we're thinking about when we're up here. Sometimes that requires going to jail. Hopefully it doesn't. Sometimes it requires, further treatment. That's what we're trying to get, to treat it like it's a sickness rather than a criminal event.
The drug changes the chemistry in your brain. So there's there's receptors in your brain that make you happy and make you euphoric and feel good. And as soon as you take that drug, it changes the chemistry in your brain, and your brain stops producing all those hormones. And they say that the first time you use, you could be addicted the first time. It's all kind of neurotransmitters in your brain that it interferes with. So dealers don't care if you die, because if you don't die, maybe you'll come back and buy again. Or somebody will hear that you died and they'll say, oh, he's got the good stuff. This is crazy. I'm telling you the truth. They'll hear that you died and you overdosed, and they'll say, oh, his dealer's got the good stuff, because it was strong enough to overdose you. I tell you no lies. That is how the street works. There's one
You
over
have a question
here.
right here?
Still got, she had one over
Actually,
here.
in the
Yeah.
next.
So for the judges, do you ever send somebody to like rehab or treatment center instead of?
Every day. Jail's an option. You're absolutely right. Jail's an option. When you walk in the courtroom, you stand right here next to Ms. Holly. If you're here, jail's an option. But you heard it from the chief. We want to help. We want you to get help, addiction help. Whether it's alcohol, drug addiction, we want you to get help. You may have mental health issues. Look, we all have issues in our lives. I have a bad day. Sometimes I call him and I say, hey, John, today I was at work and this thing really, it was traumatic. This kid, he almost died. I had to send him to jail to get a wake-up call, and it hurt me. It hurt me. That's me having a bad moment. I talk to him. But our job is to get help. Jail's an option. I think sometimes jail's a motivator. Because I think once you go to jail once, you don't want to go back. Trust me on that. You don't want to go back. Hey, Dina, where are you at? Dina, want to go back to jail? Where are you, Dina? You want to go back to jail back there for me? Yeah, it ain't cool, is it? No, that's a clean one. That's the one that we keep here clean, and Bobby makes sure that someone goes back there every day and make sure there's not trash. You've been back there. You want to go back there again? I didn't think so. The answer to your question is, we try to get help. We want to get help.
It's an awesome responsibility to send someone to jail, right? So when I'm sitting up there, I'm looking at the file, I'm hearing what the people say. And yeah, I can always send someone to jail, but I'm typically gonna work backwards from that. Because what I'm thinking in my mind is, how do I affect your behavior so that you don't go back out and do these drugs again? And that's where my thought process is coming from. And that's what we train to in the court. I don't take any joy out of sending someone to jail. It's a failure of all of us, basically, when someone goes to jail, because as a society, we haven't done what we're supposed to help this individual overcome whatever issues that they have. So I want to. Now, I put plenty of people in jail, don't get me wrong, so ashamed. Because sometimes when you look at the person, you look them in the eye, they're not there yet. They're not willing to go to this type of rehab to do these things. And sometimes Shane is right. Jail is your only option. And I can tell you, I've been to every single jail in the state, and they're awful places. They're horrible. Even the best ones are horrible. I'm on the good side when I go to the jail, and I don't want to be there for 1 second longer than I have to. I could not imagine my life being in a jail. Could not. And I hope you guys think about that. Imagine what you want to do. You guys all have hopes and dreams. I'm assuming that not one of you thinks that your hope and dream is to end up in jail and spend the rest of your life in jail, because it's a horrible place.
Yeah.
When you said that you pulled the plug on Sean and he died because he couldn't breathe, does that mean he died of suffocation, or did you give him like an injection to make it?
No, when we pull the plug on somebody, we stop breathing for them, because there's a machine breathing for him. When we pull the plug or turn that machine off, it stops breathing for him, so he stops breathing. So he doesn't suffocate, he just stops breathing. The oxygen stops going to his brain, and his brain dies, and his heart stops.
What that means in its basic form is that Sean's mom and dad decided that they didn't want the machine to breathe. You saw the one feeding him. If that machine is not feeding him and breathing him, he dies. And they decided that his life going forward was not that life they wanted to have. They decided that they pulled the plug. So they turned it off, and like you see on TV, his heart monitor, it went flat. And Ashley's colleagues pulled the breathing tube, the power to it out. They chose that. They chose that his life was not going to be in that hospital bed on that machine the rest of his life. You want to go back?
Being a trauma nurse, like seeing what you saw, has it ever like traumatized you?
Yeah. I mean, when you see Because, so I go in and I work on the patient, and the patients are usually unconscious, or we make them unconscious because they're in so much pain, or their conditions are life-threatening that we, sedate them. You hear their parents screaming outside the door. When their parents show up at the front door, we have to have security to literally hold them back because they run screaming when they find out their babies are dead. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. We do have coping mechanisms. We have counselors there for us. It takes, you have to kind of compartmentalize when you take care of trauma patients because they're a patient to you, and so it's my job. I've trained for years and years and years to know, I gotta do this, I gotta put in this tube, I gotta put in this IV, I gotta draw this blood, I gotta do this procedure. And so I do what my job is, and then kind of you step back and go, oh my gosh, this person just died, or this person is never gonna wake up again. So yeah, it's traumatizing, but I gotta do it. I love what I do. Yeah.
So like, going back to this, like.
Took too long to get to your question, I'm sorry.
Well, kind of, was there any like name this, like, is this a big deal? Big deal?
This happens all the time. I have somebody, at least one person overdosed in my ER every shift. I have one gunshot wound come in every shift. This is happening, whether or not you see it. And yeah, that's Baltimore City, but it's happening in Anne Arundel County too. There's people overdosing every day. So, don't think because you don't see it or you don't hear about it on the news that it's not happening. It's happening all the time.
This is a great segue into our next presentation. It happens in our county too. It's happened all over our state. And I have a friend who's going to tell you about a case that happened in our county momentarily. One more question for Ashley.
So, I've heard from the time, can a defibrillator actually restart someone's heart, or can it only correct their heart rate? Restart as well, right?
So he's asking about a defibrillator, like the pads when you say like everybody clear and they shock. If your heart is not beating, like it's called asystole on the monitor when it's just a flat line, you can't reshock their heart to restart it. It'll only work if there's already electricity. It's called when your heart is like fibrillating, you shock it to restart the electricity, but that if there's no electricity, meaning your heart is not beating, the only thing we can do is CPR, manually beat that heart until we either correct what's causing your heart to be not moving or until we decide to stop efforts, meaning we've done everything we could, we can't keep going. So. Yeah, don't believe what you see on TV.
A man here asked about this question about Ashley, and someone asked about Ashley being traumatized. I sit and stare in the back when I watch this video. The chief he's about to leave. We were talking a minute ago. The chief's probably seen this about 10 times. Ashley's probably about 12, 13 times. Mrs. George probably the same time. I've seen it probably 15 times. I stand in the back for two reasons. One, I want to see your reaction. Two, because I want you to see me tear up. Because I tear up watching that every time. I know what the end is. I know where Ryan is. I know where Sean is not. But it's harder for me now as a parent because I don't want my dad, my mom burying me. Actually, she's good. But when we leave here, she'll go back to and said, "Shame, it's hard again. I hate that video." It's never easy watching that video. That video was in Baltimore County, but it happens here. Is that true, Ben? It happens here?
It does.
Before Ashley goes, can we please get a round of applause and thank you for that? Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm going to change gears and invite my friend Ben Lerner to come tell you about a case he had here in our courthouse, in our jurisdiction. Mr. Lerner is prosecutor for Ms. Lias. He works downtown in circuit court in the felony division, but before that he was down here, and Ben had a case to try a case down here in the district court. Ben?
Good morning. Like Judge Spencer said, I'm a prosecutor here in the county. He asked me to come, and I come to schools in the court every time because he wants me to, and I want to tell you guys about this case that I had.
Oh, no, you didn't. You're a liar.
We hope that you can learn from it because it involves you. And obviously it doesn't actually involve you, but what it does involve is somebody who is you, who was you. An individual, Ryan Jeffries, who grew up in Anne Arundel County, who went to school in Anne Arundel County. He graduated from high school went to college, graduated from college, got a job, was doing great things with his life. But one choice, right? There's only one choice that prevents you guys from having your picture up here and maybe a presentation about you, okay? He made one choice. He had done everything in his life right. He made one choice. That's Kason Donato. Ryan and Kason didn't know each other. But they're forever linked, they're forever intertwined. Because December 12th, 2015, Ryan Jeffries, that picture you saw there on the first slide, he made a choice. He went out, had a couple drinks. He was over 21, that was okay. But he made the choice after having those drinks to get in his car behind the wheel and drive home. One choice. He had done everything right in his whole life. Has some drinks, goes out, drives home. That was December 12th, 2015. Early in the morning, Anne Arundel County Police received a 911 call.
And County 911. 170. I mean, just totally went, but the car just kept going. He was scared. Dude was scared. Right up the street on the first parking on 170. He's scared. Right his pants hard on the street. He's dying. He's dying. Yeah, a kid just got hit. He literally just got ripped in the middle. 170, right up past the bar, 94 on the right-hand side. Kid just got ran over, and the car just fell. It's literally on the right-hand side, across from the trailer park. Across from the trailer park on 170, past the fire station, on 170, headed up towards Overton, on the right-hand side of the, oh my God.
What's the closest intersection?
There's no intersection. He was literally out in the middle of the road. I went past, and I just happened to see him, and all of a sudden the car was coming up behind me and ran him right over.
Okay, is it near Florida Avenue?
He's way before Florida Avenue. I kept coming because I didn't see what was going on.
What's the intersection where he was?
Oh my God, he was way up right where 90's bar is, the bar 90's.
What?
90's, the bar on 170.
Okay, what's the intersection, sir?
There is no intersection.
What's the closest intersection?
I guess it's, where's the closest intersection, maybe wherever the fire station was, I don't know. Virginia Avenue. I'm getting ready to turn around and come back. Oh my God. I live right up the street. I'm turning around and coming back.
Okay. Can I get your name, sir?
All right, so this was a real case. That is a real 911 call that happened. Anne Arundel County Police, fire, ambulance got that 911 call, and they responded. That's what they found. Right, you guys remember the slide two before this of Kason Donato. That's Kason Donato. That's how the police found him. That photo that was taken of him holding his son was taken 12, 14 hours earlier.
Same photo you saw when you walked in my courtroom outside, on the left-hand side of the wall. If you didn't see it on your way out, peep it. Same photo you saw outside my courtroom, outside my courtroom right now. You peep it. You see it. Ben, let me interrupt you. I live right there, and I know there's someone in this courtroom who drives down that road every single day. I do. Sometimes 3 times a day, and I cry every time. I cry every time. That's right here. That's where I live. I come to work that way every single day of my life, and I say a prayer for Kason. And I stood up, I talked to Ben. Imagine yourself if you saw that. That guy freaked out. He freaked out. Because that's what he saw when he got there. I'm sorry, Ben.
So Anne Arundel County Police responded. They found Kason. There was no car there. There was no driver. Okay? They found debris. They tracked him down. That driver was Ryan Jeffries, that gentleman you saw in the first slide. The gentleman who was you, who grew up in Anne Arundel County, did everything right, and made one choice to drive home, and he killed somebody. And then he left the scene, right? Police found evidence at the scene. They tracked him down. They arrested him. He had been drinking. So Ryan Jeffries, like I said, one choice. And he's killed somebody. He's under arrest. He's facing criminal charges where he can find himself in jail. And like Judge Spencer was saying, you don't want to go to jail. You don't want to see the inside of a jail. And you don't want to see jail. You certainly don't want to see prison. That's what Ryan Jeffries was facing. Years of his life in prison. Right? And it could happen to anybody. You drink, you drive, you kill somebody, and you face prison time, where people choose when you sleep, what you eat. You're not having fun, you're not going out to a movie, you're not going to college. This is real. So Mr. Jeffries, he hired a lawyer, right? I'm sure many of you think, if you get in trouble, you can hire a lawyer. The lawyer will get you out of it. It won't be that big of a deal. Well, Mr. Jeffries hired the best lawyer in the state, one of the top lawyers in the state. We came to court. We came to trial. Mr. Jeffries was found guilty. There was nothing that the lawyer could do. The lawyer did everything he could to get Ryan off.
Don't sell yourself short, Ben. Ben tried the case. Ben convinced the trier of fact, happened to be me, beyond a shadow of a doubt, guilty on every single charge. In our system, once the conviction happens, the state gets a chance to ask for whatever they think is appropriate for the sentence, and the defendant goes last. The defendant has the absolute last word. We call it allocution before we sentence.
Right, so Judge Spencer's talking about sentencing. So he was found guilty, like I said, of these crimes where he's looking at years in jail, in prison. We came to that sentencing, and I said to Judge Spencer, you know what he did. Look at what he did. You saw those photos of Kason. Put that man in jail. Put him in jail for the max. And I could see Judge Spencer's face. He wasn't happy with Mr. Jeffries.
I was angry. I was angry. And Mr. Lerner stood up and said, Judge, you have no choice. You cannot in good conscience do anything but put that man in jail. Every day. So I did. I wrote it down. Dear Madam Clerk, Mr. Clerk, Alan, you still here? I passed it to Mr. Clerk. I said, I need to write every single day. Put him in jail. I wrote it down. I signed my name to it before I even heard from Ryan.
He tapped his ring on the table. Now, he thinks he's slick. He doesn't think we know what that means. He tapped his ring on the table.
I don't have a good poker face, and my tricks are out. I did that. When I do this, Alan makes a phone call downstairs. They come from lockup. Bobby swings around, stands behind, pulls his cuffs out, and just waits for me to give him the cue. Normally, it's just a head nod. Bobby knows. Alan knows. Tap means go get somebody. I did. I hadn't heard from Ryan yet. I was upset. I was emotional. And that's where I got to be fair and impartial. I took it back from Alan. I took a recess. I had to. It wouldn't be fair. I was emotional.
How many of you think Judge Spencer should have done what I asked and put Ryan in jail? Right? For drinking and driving and killing somebody. Yeah, right? For a long time.
Who said I shouldn't put him in jail? Raise your hand. He went to jail. He went to jail. Ben, what happened next?
He didn't go to jail as long as I think he should have. He didn't go to jail for as long as he deserved. And really, there's one reason for that. How many of you think Ryan should still be in jail? Right? Case on.
Hold on, why? Who wants to tell me why? Hold on. Who wants to tell me why? I mean, I need a good reason. You have to have the gumption to stand up and say why you should be in jail. Who wants to do that? I saw you first. Stand up for me. Stand up. Ryan, come here. Tell that man why he should be in jail. I dare you. Do it. Tell him. Tell him why he should be in jail.
Person's life.
That's it? That's all you got?
And you did it without not coming back and looking.
Get him, man! Kayson's not here. Monica doesn't have her son. You left. My heart is broken. Get him! That's what I wanted to do. Did I do that to you? I did. I did. Don't tell me a lie. I did. I did. I got off the ledge eventually. Ryan, what happened, man? Go ahead. Hey, Joe, this is Ryan Jeffries. That's the man on the screen right there. I appreciate your courage, son. You can have a seat.
You're right, and he's right. I did deserve that. I made a wrong decision. I made a million right ones, just like Mr. Lerner had said. I never thought it would be me. I sat in this courtroom. I went to this program. I went to South River. I graduated. I went to college. I sat right in here. I was just like you. I sat here 10 years ago. I was right here, right there, actually, right where you're sitting. And I didn't take it seriously. I never thought, that's not me. You look, you see.
I'm changing now. We're doing real good stuff right now. All right, y'all make good decisions going forward.
You see robbers on TV, you see criminals, you say, that's not me, I'm a good guy, I do all the right things. I did the wrong thing, and that man lost his life because I did the wrong thing. So please don't do the wrong thing. And the only reason that I'm here to be able to tell you that today is because this man's mother, his mom, his mama, stood up and said, don't send that man to jail.
Right, so at sentencing, in front of the judge, I got up, Judge Spencer, you got to put this guy in jail. And you heard what Judge Spencer said. He agreed with me. Mr. Jeffries got a chance to speak. Someone else got to speak that day in the courtroom, too.
And before that, you know, the law allows, the law requires that if Mr. Lerner wants to put somebody on a victim impact statement, he or she must go first because he has the last word. So Kayson's mom did stand up. And at first I was moved. I was moved. It's someone's mom. She had the courage to speak. And then it all came unraveling. It came apart. The wheels on the bus fell off. Because that woman said, the first thing she said was, I'm sorry to him. And I love you. Yep, just like now, because y'all seen him. Y'all heard y'all mumbling. But just like now, hush fell over my courtroom. And Ben won't admit it now, nor will they, but we all cried. Because Monica Donato stood up and said, the first thing is, I'm sorry to him and I love him. Then she said, Judge, you can't put him in jail. You can't do this. You can't. Make Kayson's life worth something. Make it mean something. Make someone else hear it.
Kayson's mom stood up in court after me and begged Judge Spencer not to put him in jail, to spare his life so that he could be here today to talk to you, to save your life.
I wasn't down at that point, though. I got off. In my office, I have my robe, my jacket. I put somebody in jail. I do the same thing. I'm a creature of habit. I get off the bench, touch my guardian angel, say a prayer for that kid, that person's family, come back and do my job, because jail sucks, and I hate it. I came back, touched my angel, I said, I got to do this. For Kayson, he's right. I came back. He already spoke. It's now my job, my time to do my job. Be a man up, do my job. And then she stood up again. She stood up again. You know what she said? You know what she said? I'm gonna tell you. Monica, this woman stood up, looked me in the eyes, gave that man a hug, and then the magic happened. I don't know what happened. That happened. That happened. You heard Ryan say it. He sat right there. 10 years ago, they didn't have magic. I got magic. Her name's Monica Donato. I got magic. I got the magic power now. I dare you. He lives in this county. He grew up in this county, went to school in this county, came to this program. It can happen to any one of you, but it won't. When you walk out, look at that picture. Look at it again. You want to drink that drug, smoke that weed, drink that liquor? Look at her in the face. Now I'm going to tell you, you listen as to why he's not in jail, because I can't do it justice. Mr. Donato, I appreciate you here every time, but tell these kids why you're here.
Well, first and foremost, good morning, everybody. I'm so glad that you all are here, and I appreciate your parents if they had to sign permission slips for you to be here, your guardians. I'm so grateful that you are here because Ryan and I are able to share our love with you. And I know for a fact that Ryan wouldn't be able to share his love with you behind bars. So yes, I did stand up for him. I did greet him with the most love that I could give him in that moment. And I had to let him know that I will be here for him until the day I die. Ryan has my cell phone number. He can call me and text me whenever. He texts me every holiday. I text him and let him know I'm on my way. I live in New Jersey. I would have to get up about 2 o'clock in the morning and be on the road no later than 3 to get here on time because their Baltimore traffic is crazy.
For you.
For you. For you.
I'm not paying her.
No.
She don't work for us.
Not a dime. Nor do I ask for it. And I was offered it. I was offered free room and board every time I come here to speak at Kids in Court. I never asked for 1 dime. Gas money, toll money, not 1 dime. And there were times my husband's sitting right in the back row. He's a police officer in one of the toughest towns in New Jersey, where he had to carry the financial weight of our family for months because there were times where I couldn't even get up and go to work. I couldn't even get out of bed. But what carried me through is my faith in my Lord and Savior Jesus. He carries me through. And I can't stand here strong and to look every last one of you in the face and express how much I love and adore you without first embracing this man right here, because he made a terrible decision to get behind the wheel. But who am I to judge? Because I've done the same thing. I just didn't kill anybody. I've done the same thing. I've had 1 too many. I've even called my husband and I said I had 1 too many. And he said, babe, stay where you at. I didn't listen. I drove home. I just didn't kill anybody. So who am I to look this man in the face and judge him for the rest of his life because he made a terrible decision? And yes, he took my son's life. He did. And I'll never get him back. But let me tell you how good God is. Me and my son hadn't talked for about 6 weeks prior to December 12, 2015. We were mad at each other. He was 23 years old at the time, because we stopped talking before his 24th birthday. Mind you, this happened 17 days after his 24th birthday. We got into a disagreement. You're going to do that with your parents. You're going to not call your parents. You're grown. You moved out the house. You may have started a family. You may be in school. You're going to have disagreements with your parents. But and he blocked me on Facebook. Y'all know y'all infamous for blocking your parents or your friends on social media. But I still had ways to get to him. Why? Because that's my child. And I got a phone call the Wednesday before he passed away, and my girlfriend said, Monica, Kayson's in the hospital. His leg is about the size of your face. Call him. And I called him. And we spoke Wednesday, but the doctors were just coming in. He said, Ma, I'll call you right back. I didn't know if he was going to call back. Why? Because we had an argument. This was probably one of the worst arguments I ever had with my son. But he called me back. And we spoke that Wednesday. And we spoke that Thursday. And we spoke that Friday, and then we spoke Saturday morning about 11:35 in the morning. And his last words to me were, "Ma, I love you. I love you. And I'll talk to you later." Now, as a child, you know when you tell your mother, your father, you call them back. Sometimes you don't.
You better now.
Please make it your business to call your parents every single day. Because on December 13th, Ryan made a decision that I will never throw in his face. I will never crucify him for that mistake. I choose to stand in solidarity with this man, and we choose to be accountable because we love you. And I believe I've been down here 6 times. 3 last year and 3 now. We have 1 more to go. And I will be here for as long as my health allows me to come for you and your friends, because I'm quite sure some of your friends will come through this program. And if they don't, tell them to. It's important for you to be here. You will make bad decisions. We just don't want you to make this one. We don't want you to make this one. You will drink too much. Call a friend. Call an Uber. Do not get behind that wheel. I promise you, you do not want your parents to go through what I'm going through. But more importantly, I couldn't have his mother spend a day not being accessible to her child. I couldn't. And I text him and I ask him, "How's your mom?" He asked me, "How's your mother? How's your children?" I lost my father 3 months after Kason, mind you, unexpectedly. So I had back-to-back traumatic experiences, but I'm still here for you. I'm quite sure Ryan had traumatic experiences, but he's here for you. I don't want you to find fault in this man, but I can't live for you. But what I want you to see is love. You could turn on the TV and hear about hate and violence all day. You were seeing this in the flesh.
This is real.
This is real.
This is not staged for you?
Not at all.
Kason's pictures outside of there, that street that you saw him on is my neighborhood. This kid goes to Anne Arundel County schools, he did. You just heard Miss Donata. That's the last thing I heard. Ryan spent some time in jail. For me, I was still a little bit angry. I had to send a message. But after that, you hear Monica Donato speak, I melt like putty. I let him out. I don't make Ryan come now. I ask, beg, and implore Ms. Donato to come. She does. Not for me. Not for me. Not for Ben. This is cathartic for these two. This is my chance to get my quarterly hug from her. But she does it for you. Don't make this for nothing. Don't make a bad choice for nothing.
She let him out of jail.
Thank you, Ben.
For you. Okay, so he could be here for you. Don't waste this, because I can promise you, I've never seen anything like this before. I don't think I'll ever see anything like this again. I don't think Judge Spencer's ever seen anything like this. For a mom of the victim to stand up and say, let him out. If you go out and you kill someone, I can promise you that person's mother will not be Ms. Donato. And they will not stand up and ask the judge to let you out. I can promise you.
Take it one step further. You all left to come to school today. I hope you kissed your mom before you left. Do you want your mom to be up here with me? Do you want your dad to be up here with me? I'm grown, but I'm still a kid. I still got a daddy. You saw him. I got a mama too. And the last thing I want to do as a child is make my parents cry. I'm a grown man. I make no bones about it. I see Monica, tears come. She speaks, I cry. She spoke twice in my courtroom that day. The first time, I was still so angry with Ryan, I couldn't see straight. The second time, she begged and she implored. And she's right. She's right. She comes for you. She loves you. She don't even know you, she loves you. She'll tell you she loves you. When you leave, you want a hug, she'll give you a hug. Get mine first. Her and Ryan come here because they want to make a difference in your life. They want to make a difference in your life. And we can't make this any more real to you than this right here. This is homegrown. This is us. You want to really be pulled? Go ahead, Ben, play that one. You want to really have your heartstrings pulled? Watch this. That's Kayson's son. Monica's grandchild. That's a picture you see. You see them eyes, boy. Them eyes are captivating. They do this for you. I challenge when you said Ryan should still be in jail. Because you can't. I know you can't, because I couldn't. I beg you, we beg you, make some good choices. She said it, you're going to make a bad one, own it and make it right.
Get an Uber.
We're all here to help.
Do anything. Don't drive.
I'm going to give you a chance to get your tears. Like, I'm going to get my tears out of my eyes. I'm going to ask Bobby to put the shield down here. We're going to have some court cases in a moment. Before we go, please give Ms. Donato and Ryan a plan of applause. And our final presenter is going to present our last piece. I've asked the man to come present to you another case about you, a student like you who grew up here in the stadium realm right close to us. And I've invited my friend Zach George to come tell you about this case because I think it's very important, but it just brings it home for you. Zach is a firefighter in Prince George's County. Before that, he was a firefighter across the bridge in Queen Anne's County. And Zach grew up there, lived there, went to high school there. He's not much older than you. And Zach responded to a case one day. Zach, this is my friend Zach George.
I graduated high school in 2015 from Kenon High School. I've been a volunteer firefighter in Queen Anne's County for almost 8 years now. I've been paid with Prince George's for almost 2 years now. Straight out of high school, I went into the fire academy. Graduated from there a year and a half ago. I'm stationed in Largo now. But before then, during my volunteer years, I got involved with a tight group of friends of mine that I graduated high school with, some of them a little bit older. But when you join the fire department, they become like a second family to you. They're at your family's weddings, they're at your family's funerals. They go everywhere. You eat dinner, breakfast, lunch together. You sleep in the same firehouse just 2, 3, 4 times a week. You spend all hours of the day together. They become another family that you come home to. And I'm here today to tell you about a friend of mine, unfortunately, that passed away, and how it's affected my life, his family, the whole community, and it simply could have been prevented. This is a friend of mine. His name is Tyler Elzy. Everybody calls him Elzy. This was on the front cover of one of the newspapers. He made Firefighter of the Year, which is like a big deal. It's somebody that responds to the most calls out of everybody in the department, dedicates the most time, and does the most work without being told to do so. This is a picture of all the guys hanging out together like a little man cave to show you how tight of a group we were. These are 3 of Tyler's friends and Tyler. They went to high school together, elementary school, middle school. They grew up and lived in the same neighborhood together. This is the accident that Tyler was involved in. Unfortunately, he was with those 3 boys, and all 4 of them passed away. It said they were doing 92 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone. They weren't wearing seatbelts. They weren't drinking. They weren't smoking. They weren't under the influence of any drugs. They were just driving a little bit too fast and decided not to put their seatbelt on. The gentleman that was in the black car suffered from a laceration to his arm, and he was flown to shock trauma. Unfortunately, the 4 boys that were involved in the accident, like I said, passed away. I was almost 16 at the time when I responded to this call. We were coming down the road. It was a warm spring day. We were out cooking, hanging out, playing basketball, all the stuff that we normally do at the firehouse. We get a call for a rescue assignment. A rescue assignment is a car accident that the occupants of the vehicles cannot self-extricate themselves, so they can't get out of the car, which means we have to cut the car apart. While we're going down the road, we hear that there's 4 kids in the car. So in my mind, I'm thinking young children, and this is going to be awful. Right before we get to the scene, they say they were in the age of 18 to 19. We get there and we start cutting on the car like we normally do, cover everybody up, break the windows out, and we start chewing through the metal. Once we peeled the back half of the car apart, we saw Tyler slumped over in the back seat with a t-shirt on similar to this, and everybody just froze. We didn't know what to do. Some of the guys from neighboring departments pushed us away and told us to go take a second to ourselves, and they finished the cut job. We removed the occupants and assisted the older gentleman to the helicopter and flew him to shock trauma. I want you to pay close attention to this lady right here. That's Tyler's mom, who was there to watch us pull him out of the car. Somebody had called her and said, "I think your son's been involved in an accident." So, being a mother, she does motherly things. She ran straight down there. She only lived right down the street. And the paramedics were trying to hold her up. She fainted 3 times. This was the car after the accident. The side of the car was impacted so hard, it pushed it all the way to the center console. So originally when we got there, we thought there was only 3 people in the vehicle. The impact was so great that it had pushed the passenger down and the car had wrapped around him. So until we removed the roof, we didn't know that there was 4 people in the car. We could barely see the top of his head. If you look here, this is after we peeled the door back, but the door was right here, and here's where your radio was. So it rolled all the way around him. Here's the back seat, and as you see, there's only 2 seats here. Everybody knows there's 3 seats in the back of a car. The impact was so great that it just crushed the car almost in half. Here. So here's your emergency brake and the side door here. There was somebody sitting in that seat. These are Tyler's shoes. So in the center of the car in the back, you know, you have cup holders and whatever. Well, here's the door. His shoes and his feet were pinned in the car. We couldn't get him out at first. We had to cut the seats and the whole side of the car apart to get him out. So the community that we grew up in was very tight-knit. Everybody knew everybody. And we had a memorial service for those 4 boys at the high school that we all graduated from. And there were so many people that came to it that they were lined all the way out to the street. We filled the football stadium full of people, all the people that knew these boys. These 2 people here, this is Tyler's mother and his stepfather. And these 4 people here are the parents of the other boys. This was the fire department showing their respects and saying their last goodbyes to him. And this is the memorial that the community put up after the accident. This is a list of injuries that the medical examiner gave to us to show us how much damage really happened. So at the time of the accident, he was the same height as me. He was 6'2". After the accident, they measured him out at 5'8". He had several skull fractures, completely severed spinal cord and brainstem, a massive brain hemorrhage, which is like your brain is bleeding out so much that it's crushing the brain itself. He had broken teeth, broken jaw, a ruptured heart, crushed chest, blood in his chest cavity and lungs, fractured arm, fractured pelvis, lacerated spleen, liver, kidney, bowel, stomach. Both his right and left femurs had multiple fractures. His left leg was pulverized, both the bone and the muscle. Now, when we had our funeral, we did it at the firehouse. And when you have a fire department funeral, all the guys take turns standing next to his casket, and we guard his body, make sure that nothing happens to him, and they call it a watch. So we take shifts, one on each side of the casket, and we guard him while people come up and pay their respects. Well, they had to show me a picture of what he looked like in the casket before I went up there because they said I wasn't going to recognize him. And I said, "What do you mean I'm not going to recognize him? It's Tyler." And they said, "No, the accident was so bad, his face was all crushed in that you're not going to be able to recognize him." They did the best that they could to make it look like him. And this is what we saw. And before I show you this last picture, I want you to take a good look at that. This is a Tyler that I knew. Not this guy. That was a Tyler that I knew. And when we had to bury him, that was one of the worst experiences of my life. Carrying his casket to a 6-foot hole and watching them lower him down into it. And watching his mother cry and scream, and his brothers that were also in the fire department scream and cry while we carried him across the field to lay him in a 6-foot hole. Never, ever did I ever think that I was going to do that. Not only did it affect his family, it affected my family. I didn't leave the firehouse for 2 weeks. I didn't go to school for 2 weeks. They wouldn't let me come to school because I couldn't last a day. And I'll never forget the screams of his mother after they put him down in the hole. And they played the last 3 rings over the radio, saying that this was his last call before they put him in the ground, and I would never ride another call with him again. He wasn't drinking, no drugs, no nothing. They were just driving a little bit too fast with no seatbelts on. They said if he would have had a seatbelt on, it might have saved his life. And we were supposed to go to an Orioles game 2 days from then. Never made it.
You always have with Zach. Zach always brings it home. Zach's not much older than you. I dare you to think about you burying one of your friends in this room. I dare you to think about your mom putting you in the ground. Even better is, I want you to know we care, but I know we care. Zach is Zach George. That's his dad behind me, Bobby. Our nurse, Miss George. That's his sister. In the back of the room now, Zach's mom's crying because she cries every time Zach comes to do this presentation. She hides now because she knows I see her. Ashley and Zach are here, and they have an older sister. They're all alive. Zach comes because I ask him to. He takes a day off. This is real, not made up. And we end with it because it comes full circle. It's not the weed, like you saw with Ryan and Sean. It's not alcohol, like Ryan Jeffries. It's just 4 dudes going too fast with no seatbelt. That simple. 2 bad choices. Too fast, no seatbelt. I'm not an EMT. I'm not a paramedic. I'm not sure I'm a nurse. Ashley is. He's the EMT paramedic. Seatbelt saves your life. It seems so fundamental to you, so crazy to you. Seatbelt saves your life. Otherwise, he's cutting you out of a car and telling your mom about it. And that phone call is not a phone call. It's awful. It's awful. I've asked Bobby George about it. Bobby served in the police department here in the county for a billion years. He's older than me. But when Bobby responds to fatalities, Bobby is that guy. Job's not done then. Bobby goes and knocks on the door and says, "Ma'am or sir, are you the mother of Shane Spencer?" And I am. "I regret to inform you that today we found your son on the side of the road. And he did not make it. Can you please get in the car with me, come down to Baltimore, that's where the coroner's office is, to identify your son's body." Something like that, Bobby? It's awful. I told you in the beginning, and we're come full circle now, we are not the fun police. I'm not trying to scare you. I want to open your eyes. Open your eyes, wide open for me now. We've come full circle. I'm going to invite all my friends, my teammates to come here before us so you have a last minute to ask them some questions before you go. Well, let's come full circle now where we started. We first started with Ryan and Sean driving down the street. Anybody know what Sean's wearing right now? Dirt. What's Ryan wearing? Ryan's wearing a gown, probably some paper drawers. My friends that were in the car here, what were they wearing? You say? Prison uniform? Who picked that? Yeah. Who picked Ryan's gown? The nurse, because he's paraplegic. What about Ryan Jefferson? He was in jail. Ryan, who picked your outfit? My man James is over here. First thing I saw I walked the court was he had a tie on. My man over here has a tie on too. I noticed these small things. It's a choice they made. When you come into my courtroom, I see you walk in, you have a tie on, I know you care. You may not have a tie, you may have a sport coat, you may have a collared shirt. I know you care, but you chose that. If you come to my courtroom when I'm doing my job, I put on my dress, my robe, and I gotta make a choice, I gotta choose for you. Don't let me choose for you. Yeah, kids, I know you like to shop, buy your own clothes, wear your own things. I pick my shirt and tie. I love this program. I get all geared up for it. I get loud up the night before. I don't sleep. But I pick a cool shirt and tie. My socks that are awesome. If I know my dad's coming, I gotta polish my shoes because if my shoes ain't polished, I ain't got a belt on, I'm in trouble. Is that right, Daddy? Gotta have my shoes polished. Man taught me well. But if you come here and you cross this threshold and you're into my well, and I gotta decide, it doesn't end well for you. It doesn't end well for you. It could be simple, leaving here and going on probation, community service. Who think that's fun? Miss Holly, where will they do community service? Wherever the jail. You gotta go to the jail to do community service. To the jail. Pick up trash at the dump, side of the road. Lift boxes at the Goodwill, soup kitchen. You come here, I gotta decide. I want you to decide. Make good choices. You are smart, you're brilliant, you're beautiful, you have assets, you have resources. It's each other. I don't expect you to call your teacher and say, "Hey, can you come get me? I'm at a party." I get that. Call each other. Call your family, they'll come get you. I'm telling you, get my number, I'll come get you. I'll wake up. We've come full circle now. I hope you've enjoyed the program. I hope you took something away from the program. Before I shut down, I implore you, Miss Lowry's here, Miss Holly's over here, Bobby's behind me, Zach's here, Ben's here somewhere, Ryan's here. If you have a question, ask them. These are professionals. These are the lawyers. These are the advocates. People respond to the calls. You have a question of what we did, these cases. I heard Miss Holly about that case, the first case we did. Wrong place, wrong time. I disagree. That first guy who had the bullet on him, he's doing a weekend in jail for a bullet. Why is he doing a weekend in jail? Anybody? Why? That's right. He had a juvenile record, so the law says he can't have anything. But where was he? I read the search warrant. The warrant. It wasn't even his house. Him and homies were hanging out. Wasn't there a warrant? Someone else target for a
It was for his
guitar?
friend. His friend had a warrant.
His buddy had a warrant, search warrant for his house. Cops came in, got a warrant from some judge that said, go search that house for a stolen guitar or something.
Yeah.
A stolen guitar. A guitar. Can you play the guitar? He can't. The cops go in there and they search everybody. That warrant comes in your house, they search everybody. And they found it where?
In his sock.
You're gonna hide the bullet in your sock? Lights my balls. Bad choice. I'm not saying you're friendly, bad choice, but come on. Know who you're hanging out with. Our car ride, they got in a random car, random dudes, random stolen car, pulled over. 4 days. 4 days. Unfair, anybody? Unfair? Too harsh? Besides you, Miss Holly.
It's always just me.
What was our second case? That was the
Theft.
Theft.
Multiple thefts.
Who's gonna hire with a death conviction? You're stealing. They gonna hire you? Come on, man. Dude, what did we get with her? I forget already.
You gave her a weekend.
I gave her a weekend. And community service. It was 2, that's why. There was 2. 2 thefts. Party supplies and famous footwear.
Yeah, pair of shoes. And
Worth
with the same friend, the same person she stole with both times.
Choices. And I heard you say they caught him on video.
Both times.
You know what I love? I love when Miss Lowry comes into court and she puts her laptop on the computer. That's when it's fun time for me, on the desk fun time for me. 'Cause I know she has an awesome video. That means someone caught on video and they brought it in. I love that part. The last young man. He just left, I saw him. I waited. I'm respectful because Holly gets mad at me when I say things in front of their faces. But I'll tell you. If you're one dude, you got a beef with that one dude, but I bring 3 other dudes, you're a coward. I'll say it, Miss Holly. I think he's a coward. I think so. I love my wife. I love my mother. Don't get me wrong. Touch my mom, my wife. It's on a don't call. I'm coming to get you. Just me. If I can't do it, it's okay. When I'm done getting my butt up by you, right behind me, I got 2 brothers. And behind you, even though he's old as heck, my dad's coming too. Where's Dick? What I mean, all 4 get on you? But here's the rub. Here's the rub in my eyes. Anybody here 30? Any of y'all? Any of y'all? You in the back, you're over 30, you can be in love. You didn't even get married in my eyes. You in the front, you ain't 30 yet, you don't love nobody. You got a boyfriend? He don't love you. He don't love you. He don't love you. Trust. He don't love you. Nope, not a factual statement. Miss Holly, when did you get married in my eyes again? 30.
When? Yes. I was like, when did I?
30.
Before you think I should.
30. Until you're 30, you don't know love. I'm married. I got married. I was 30. Before that, I was stupid. I was dumb. I was immature. I wasn't ready. Ask my wife, she'll tell you. We're dudes. We're dumb. I own it. We're dumb. But we don't love you in high school. We don't. I'm telling you, we don't love you in high school. Tell them I said it. Nothing's worth it. Get out of high school. Go to college. Get a career. Do something. But you don't love till 30. Now, 30, then we'll talk. I'll even marry you at 30. Come find me. I'll marry you free. I want you to have fun with each other. I want you to enjoy each other's company. At the movies, at the mall, at a party. I know about parties. I've been to them. And I know you're a dealer now. I want you to have fun, but I want you to make good choices. I want you to make great choices. I will tell you now, if you're my own children, you're going to make a mistake. Own it and make it right. You own it and make it right by doing the right thing. Call somebody for a ride. Get out in front of it. Get out in front of it. Y'all have tests coming up? Anybody have tests coming up? We have to take classes too in our continuing education. I think these quizzes. When I know I'm going to fail the quiz, because I was up late that night before, I called the chief, said, Chief, I had a bad day, bro. Today is Wednesday, I had a bad day. Thursday, test result comes out, he knows I'm out in front of it. I don't let him see my F in front. I tell him in advance, I had a bad day. Hard test, the new law, that's crazy. I didn't get that one. I'll reread it. I made a mistake, I was up too late that night, didn't study for my test. Get out in front of it, own it. If you go out and have a good time and your friend that you just meet from somewhere else, Old Mill, is out drinking and you're at his or her house, call for a ride, man. It's simple. Speed kills. Weed kills. Alcohol kills. I just want you to live through it. Be part of it. I want you to come back and see me in 10 years and be like, yeah, that dude Ryan made an impact on me. When you leave, I invite you. You look out there. It's Kazan's picture. If that don't move you, nothing will. Nothing. This team's here. Their time is your time. I want you to also think about competing. Send something in. You'll get some from your teachers about competing, whether it's an essay, a poem, a rap, a video, a picture. I don't care what it is. Submit something that says you want to compete, to come do something. Scholarship. We got money in the bank to give away. Give it away, money. Camps, college scholarships, give it away. Shadow one of these lawyers. Shadow that guy on a big old rig. Shadow Bobby George, he runs the whole building. He gets play straight. Prosecutor, public defender, anybody, me, come see me. You gotta compete. Gotta make good choices. I'm gonna give this time to you now. Any questions? Any comments? And tell my staff how great they are. Team, how awesome they are. Teachers, thank you for coming. Anything? All right. I've enjoyed my time. We've enjoyed our time. I appreciate you being here. I look forward to seeing you in the future. Coming voluntarily, not with one of them. All right. Good luck to you. When you graduate, send me, so I know you graduated, an invitation. I want to come to graduation, all right? I always say that. No one ever invites me. You don't love him. I know you're a dealer. That was good. Have a great night.